やっとブラジル見れるのがマジで嬉しい。嬉しくて泣いちゃう。じゃあ行きますか。お届けするのは今朝終わったフリアとビボキードスターズ。ケイドだ。ブラックドラゴンズと E1 スポーツね。E1 e スポーツじゃないか。E1 スポーツだから。ご注意。じゃあ行きますか。フリアの状況を確認。ヘイズがタッチャンカ使ってた。いきなりの衝撃映像からスタート。
Monty, oh my goodness. They brought Chanka here as well, just because he's fantastic delay utility. We usually just see smoke downstairs. That's what Carter was, really touching on there. But, Carter, if you remember, long time ago, when TSM was still inside of North America, they actually developed a strat for this basement where you use smoke for that elbow and you put Chanka over inside of Freezer. They're both fantastic at delaying kind of closed off areas like this where people have to funnel in. And it makes it to where the offense really has to respect a lot of that utility, especially for Chanka, man. I mean, 20 of those fire nades, that's something you really got to pay attention to.
One thing also VIVO will have to respect
is
these
Kiba
barricades. You can see Daffodil thinking about rushing down the big tower stairs, but with that one Kiba barricade, it makes it a bit more difficult to walk down, makes it difficult for anybody to cover him from behind, or even for the Blitz to make his way down to the bottom floor itself. So VIVO will be stalled for the time being, pushed back over to that middle floor as I believe, with that Kiba barricade, of course, Hertz has found his way back. So everyone from FURIA actually on the bomb site. What do you know? Despite the odd beginning and the odd operator selection, Sam, we reached the same point we always reach on basement attack. Minute and a half, the attack trying to figure out where they want to push.
Oregon, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
めちゃくちゃゆっくり
Hatches will get open and we'll start to transition into more of an execution period. We'll build that up and then, guess what, guys? We're going to hand it off to Carter. He's going to say a lot of loud words. It'll probably be fun. Then we're going to go into round two. This is Oregon basement. Also very excited. Also, Herds. Why do we have 4 barriers in our pocket? I think we're trying to decide where this team's going to come from. He's probably just trying to hold on to those for as long as he can, but this is definitely going to be the telltale sign of things working their way in from the laundry position.
I think especially with the floors on the board, you don't want to give up those Kiba barricades early, especially if they can prove to be powerful. Herds does find one, that 9x19. Certainly very powerful. Starting things off on the right foot for the defense. This blitz, anything but. Nade gone unchecked in the default laundry position. A very poor attack to start from VIVO. Maybe in conception, but honestly, more likely FURIA guns. They are coming alive.
メーカーズ NA に移籍ました。そうなの？じゃあさ、ステージ2から10チーム目入るのかな？割とありそうじゃない？
Or basement site behind the washing machine or anybody playing him. If he can stay alive on that roam, move around the mute jammers, use that ERC to dodge himself from intel, he could go for a flank later on. I will say, this is a bit of a new look from FURIA. Normally, especially with Solus left up, it's Herds we often see on these solo roams, often the one pushing very far off of the site. With him on mute and
まあでも今 NA は結構あれだからな。確かに隙間はある気がする。
But given the operators left up, given the positions being taken, seeing Herds so close to sight is a bit surprising. That doesn't mean Fellapox isn't up to the task. You can see VIVO are aware that somebody might be off site. With the drones now in basement, this is a very
なんかねっとり攻めるね、ビボ。オレゴンピックはビボか。オレゴンクラブハウス。日本か。
Make sure that they can focus in the utility game on the top floor.
あれメーカーズって一瞬ネロとか言ってなかったっけ？すぐやめたよね。あそこで立て直しを図ろうとしたけど、ネロは多分ワイルドに誘われてみたいなのがあるんだろうな。
Look at this. Stemp can't do a single thing about this bandit. He's going to go this and at least try and get rid of the bandit's already over here. Won't be able to assist. Somehow Fleetpox gets one. I think he went for a rotation either through Freezer or through Big Tower, but it doesn't really matter at this moment in time. We're down to a minute remaining. Daph's been picked off, and so is Nate.
たまにビジュール使うよね。
Yeah, 4v4, which with Fellapox still on the roam, causing uncertainty to creep into the minds of VIVO Especially with so many of the on-site players still intact. Aside from Nade, you've got the shotgun from Herds on such a close quarters entry point. If VIVO commit to and execute from the master bedroom side, that shotgun is so powerful to contest either the breach, the trophy, walk-in, pit. He's a bit of a long angle with the SMG-11 though.
キッチン1枚してみやってるんだ。
to watch the breach, but he's smoked off the planet. Hornet downed in the process, but they've at least found a way in. Fellapox might have sent hates on the way out though as he cuts him down on the rotate back. These players on site need to fall if VIVO stand a chance. They've got the 2v1 on the player playing inside a pit. Fellapox now down as well. Herds around the corners, got to stay alive, but as he crosses, VIVO are waiting. First attacking win comes on.
そうだよね。ネロとブラズいたよね。
And
だから
this
ト
is
ッ
what's
プ
been so
リーグに
impressive about
抜かれちゃっ
VIVO throughout this
たのを
entire
止める方法
stage.
がなかっ
They
たか
don't
ら、まあ
oversell
チームとして
things.
も
That
なん
round right
か
there, there's so many
経営
things
が
that
難しかっ
could
たの
have
かな。
went wrong. They could have
ハムさん、こんばんは
executed
いらっしゃい。
poorly. They could have allowed Philippe
Or was still
being more than willing to try and hold map control, even on maps where maybe some turtle setups are usually favored. FURIA, with their talent, we've seen them get away with things like this time and time again. Sometimes just making you question, yo, am I playing the game right? Am I doing what I need to be doing? Because it's able to get away with so much.
そうだよ、今朝のプレイオフ見てるよ。俺はついに時代に追いついたんだよ。
P2 position over to
ついに
the
俺
attic.
が
A lot of
時代に追いつ
rotations
くことに
built
成
up
功し
here
た。
for FURIA, and this is also going to require a little heavy lifting from VIVO
あ、ワンチャン
to understand
M80 とか
exactly
も
how
見
they
ようか
want to
な。
go about this. Initially, they're going to work
まあまあ
to
欲
step
張ら
in
ず
from
に
the
ちょっと
small
ブラジル
tower
2本だけ
side,
でしょ
so
う
we'll
か。
be able to hold on to shower for the time being and wait VIVO Keyed, see how they want to try and build up around this position.
The attacker pressuring a lot of different parts of the map right now. I mean, we have the control over by showers. We have a couple attackers over on the top floor as well. We have an Amaru over by Big Tower. Daffodil sitting down below.
PSG vs 喫煙を見てる。1マップ取ってるとこまで見た。
So VIVO Keyed as a whole,
あれも後日振り返りはしたい。
different points, seeing where the defense is the
太郎が今のと
weakest,
こ取ってるよね。
likely collapsing onto a given position once they
いきなり
figure
ファ
out
ビ
where
ア
it
ン
is.
効果って、
Casey's
ファビアン
position
ペン
might
グ
be
効果ってえ
known.
ぐいよな。
Is there a gap up long haul right here? As you can see, Nade's so focused on that top floor.
Oh, yeah,
Nade's
look at
might
that.
be cut down, but his position is revealed. Daffodil knows he's down there, but JV92 has cut down Hornet. So Step might have found a way up the long hallway in the 5v3. He is not favored to win these engagements on the site unless there's a massive throw from FURIA. And to top it all off, with the roam still solid on the top
ご飯かけ
floor.
ご飯さんいらっしゃ
He
い。
can still contest from the vertical angles if he wants. It's looking like VIVO Keyed might have to wait another round. Try and get their two
ね
attack
D プラ
wins
ス
they
倒
need.
すとは。いや、まあでも、
Grasping at straws now. FURIA doing
準
such a
決
good
勝
job
で
of
組み合わせ
playing
がもうちょっ
around
と違かったら
this top
D プラス
pressure.
はグランドファイナ
Panic
ル行っ
bomb
てた
in.
気が
This
す
could
る
be
け
the
ど。
last one for Snap. SMG-12 in hand. Not going to help him with the range, but definitely could with the player here inside of security. Pull out that goo mine, but Philippe Box waiting to see if somebody wants to try and swing his door. Love this patience here from FURIA, even though they do have two
今のところ
players
そんなに
over their opponents.
フリアが
They
復調
still
に
don't want to
した
try
な
and
っ
give
て
it
い
up
うと
just
ころ
yet.
は
Lenda
あんまり感
in
じ
the
ない。
case down, forced to try and cancel it, but oh my gosh!
よく今の
Just
勝ってた
as
の。
quickly as they try, they fall in FURIA after two defensive rounds.
If VIVO Keyed were constantly trying, is that transition?
あれフェリックボックスの母ちゃんだろ。めちゃくちゃ似てたぞ。
For the fate of this map.
あ、今タイムアウト取ったの
The round. It's not a regular.
Point as well. Well, hold on.
タロンこれ勝ってもまだあるんでしたっけどういうことタロンもう勝ったら決まりだよ。一番乗りで世界大会。韓国リーグはね、タロンとフェア X。
How much they know about Felipox's position actually, because it was Herds, I believe, who shot that drone, but Freezer Hatch now opened up, so the mute will drop back down. Herds might still be in that position, top Freezer, but no, he'll even fall back. So just a couple drone shot early on. Very impressive initial entry from Hates, but unfortunately it'll find nothing, because again, FURIA very disciplined on these Oregon defenses.
決勝のはずだね、もう。韓国は。
You spend your life living things on the edge, man. You know exactly how to dance that line. And FURIA, they're the best in the business when it comes to that. I mean, they want a hammer, for God's sakes. They're gonna peel things back down to the basement now. Hatch work already done for VIVO Key.
実況お疲れ様でした。ありがとう
At
ご
the
ざ
end
い
of
ま
the day
す。
too, as FURIA has nothing standing in
で
between
も
them
ファビア
and
ン
have
ちゃんとそん
success.
なにコーチしてる感じじゃないからな。キャスターもやってるから、まあ、スポットコーチだと思うぞ、あれ。
You still have a couple of other tidbits
必要にタチャンカ取ってくるな。新しいメタなのか、これ。
Definitely not the best option when it comes to the basement setups, but the gun's still good. It still has that Gone 6 secondary. Kills now starting to come in.
何が起こってる
Recently hot and heavy, and VIVO Keyed
い
feeling
や
the
ー、このショットガン
swing,
の選択強い
feeling
よ
the
な。
sting
あ
too, as it's
崩れ
just
た。
down to Hornet. TB's got any stings left, as fortunately for him, he's not
なんか
a
別の場所で何が起こったかマジでわからん。
Very unfortunate circumstances for VIVO.
へえ、意外とやってるん
A lot
だ。
around. Yeah.
でも出演しながら、まあ平日は空いてるからいけんのか。
Pseudo hold. We really don't see it, just because turtling on that basement is so unbelievably easy. But FURIA really,
なんか
really good at a play like that.
UBI コリアが撤退することに関しては、その、まあ、影響がないわけはないとは思うけど、シージのことリーグに関して言うと、ブラストが世界は運営してるからさ、全世界で。まあ、あんま影響はないんじゃない
or really just trying to get in
ただ
behind
その
VIVO Key to try
韓
to strike things on
国
the
初
master
の
side.
プロモーションとかさ
We saw it was difficult for VIVO Key to get a handle on fellow
そういうのが
Fox
できなくなるって
earlier,
感じ
so
か
I
な
don't think on dorms this is a bad idea whatsoever. I am concerned how ready
そう
for
シー
it
ジ
VIVO
っていう
Key
タイトル
might
に
be,
限らず
but with so much focus on the trophy clear early on,
なんかフェリポックスが
I'm
強いな
curious if they're actually less aware of it than it was before. Because if you remember, the vigil play was not necessarily obvious it was a vigil, but
やっと見出した
a roam
よ
well.
ヘイズ
It was pretty obvious.
その
Because of
銃
the
でそこ
holes
抜くん
made
だ
in meeting, he was holding up position, but this time
おっとおっ
KZ's
とこ
playing
れ
a lot looser.
魔王復
Running
活の予
around the
感
map a lot earlier, not baiting VIVO Key to clear him, but he's caught them off guard
もう一回
completely.
行った
Goes for another run out bottom white. Doesn't even need to do that. He's already killed Lenda. He's already
韓
got
国
the
放送とか
5v4,
残ら
but
ないんじゃない
confidence from
あれが
FURIA is
国内運
certainly
営だから
back.
俺ら日本語
This
と
is
一緒
just
だよ
rough for VIVO Key.
で
They're
も
trying
韓
to
国
find their own plays. The skeleton
運
key
用
up
とか
close,
は
but
別の
Philippe Fox,
運
he's
営指示するところがないとできない
way! He smokes a man out on the balcony. Just tried to transition
あれ
into
フェリポは
Master,
英
and
国
it's
環境
done.
やってんじゃないこ
Just
の
like
人
that. The dust is gonna settle. What do you even
Hayes
do
が暴
in
れ
a
散らかしてんじゃん
situation like this? Stemp, just take it to round 6. There's a minute remaining. It's a flawless from FURIA on the top floor. This is looking like a roster that
いやちょっと強い打ち合い戻ってきてるぞこれフリア
I mean, a
調整してきてる
blink
よ
for Hayes.
明らかに
0-5, including Daffodil as well. 0-5-1.
いやフ
Lenda.
ァースト絶対取るもんな JB かフェリポックスが
It's a rough ship, man. Rough ship right now for VIVO Key. Hornet will finally take down KZ, and although a positive boon as he's been running amok on these roams, there's still a long road ahead of them. The biggest thing for VIVO Key that I've seen so far is that a lot of these positions that they've been getting taken out and haven't exactly been tradable. It's been a lot of one-on-one sort of engagements. And that's exactly what we saw from FURIA and some of their most dominant performance when it came to SI. Teams that love to give these heads-up
グループ
gunfights.
ステージの時は
usually
どう
fall
なん
to
だ
sort
ろ
of
うね
FURIA.
まあ単純にモチベが低かったのはあると思うけどな
This game than they have consistently. We've seen great performances from Herds in a game, great performances from JB92 in a game, KZ having a rough stage. And Nade and Fellapox
ブラジルでもオレゴンはやはり木をてらったアプローチができないよな。 ダホデルのこの
Now
あ
the
まり
players are winning fights more consistently. KZ might still be 2-3, but Fellapox having a great game. Everybody else putting in the work. That's enough. That's enough at the end of the day for FURIA to mount a very strong performance. And with Hates the second highest rated player in Brazil, 0-6 so far. Daffodil 0-5. It's a very easy picture to paint for why VIVO Key are struggling on this attacking half, struggling to find control, struggling to
まあ
truly pressure
BO3 はだいぶ
these
違うから
defenders.
な
I mean, how
マ
many
ップのやっ
times
ぱり番
on
が
these two attempts
ね
to
だいぶ
attack
違う
the
から
meeting kitchen
得
site?
意なマッ
Have
プは
we
1個で
seen
きるから
somebody trying to push up long haul for a quick kill?
way.
And how many times have we seen it
なんか
fall flat on its
カメラが
face? Nice shot by Hornet, good transition, good
5-1
flip. But a 5-1 half for FURIA to start on their opponent's pick. It's not looking
This team it definitely
as well. That is to the degree, and we could easily see them struggle. Their attacks certainly have not been as strong as they have been at international events, like the majors, like SI. The entries in particular, getting them or converting them
日本はでも
has
ス
been
カー
Furia's
ズ勝ったから
big
順
issue
当っ
this
ちゃ
stage,
順
and
当
for
じゃ
their
ない
play style, which is often more spread out, often very incumbent or very reliant on whether they can get advantages or not, they could face a lot of problems. If Hades is able to get active, specifically in those early rounds, and FURIA struggle to win things back. But if this round, if they're able to get an advantage, and even if they lose it, FURIA keep it close, this could very well be a regulation victory.
I think it has a little bit to do with the patch coming after SI.
バイトは昨日の
When you're the
特攻
best
が
in
刺
the
さった
business
も
on
んいや
the
特
swing,
攻1ミリもやって
that
な
kinda
かっ
gets
たよ
nerfed a little bit. You kind of have to go about things in a little bit of a different way. Really feel that pain just a tad. And even giving that scenario, I mean, they're not exactly the worst when it comes to entry. They're definitely negative, but it could definitely be a lot worse at the end of the day. But FURIA looking to try and right those wrongs in playoffs. So far, from that defensive perspective, things have looked good. But now it's time to change the fate when it comes to the offense. AZ with an R4C and a Russian cog
特別攻撃ってこと
down Freezer. As there's one
まあ
inside
相性は
of
かなりあ
Plaza,
ったよ
a free fire towards Freezer Hall. Hates is going to hate his life.
ヘイズが使ってるサイトそれなん
What the
だ
hell just happened to him right there? Stemp waiting for the swing. He's been tagged up a bit from Laundry, but FURIA, they're doing what FURIA does best. They know the advantage, and they're going to use this timer to its fullest advantage.
And you can see this round isn't easy for FURIA by any means. They're taking so much time to burn utility, taking all this time to extract some from VIVO in turn. But with Hates giving away that gunfight and FURIA ready for the swing, that's okay. They can take that advantage. While Daffodil's able to find one, KZ coming alive in round 7. 2 kills for FURIA so far. Bellapox unread on the push up to the laundry rotate. Completely caught lacking as Daffodil holding that very position.
いや、これロック完成してんじゃない？おー、すげえ。
KZ inside a freezer. Very flashy way to get the 2v2, but the
いや、でも
defender's
プラン
down.
ト通ったけど、レイト取り返せたからワンチャンある。
Forcing VIVO Key to come to them to
上に逃げたとしても、あー、レイト取り返されてる。レイト取り返されてます。いや、これホーネットはもう取り返した前提なんだよな、レイト。
Their positions, JV92, Bellapox, they both have to hold. JV goes down, Bellapox stays up. One kill is way, but not the second.
よう取り返した。
1vx is what the first round of VIVO Key's defenses comes down to.
Or it's how difficult to get the
hit that in just to give.
いや、今レートを抑える判断フェリップ完璧だったけどな。ロビー先に抜いたのでかかったな。
Either way, it'll be a bit of util clear to start from FURIA. So if there's a gunfight, it'll be VIVO Key maybe getting a bit too aggressive.
Walking the AUG too. Don't really see that too often in the current patch, do you? Because that COG is on the MP5K.
謎の希望バリア。
Definitely wants that barrier back, doesn't he? Unfortunate on the door frame, but able to get the other one to go off. Lenda's going to end up losing his shield too. So far, so good when it comes to the chess match of utility.
I like the strategy, just using the X-Kairos 2 at a time, burning them one by one by one. But
you're going to keep giving them away, man. I mean, we're just going to keep soaking them up. Those barriers are way too valuable, especially when it comes to the cycling.
Oh, but Hates on the roam. Has he been read? Selma's go out. Oh, the ace is not aware of this. Not aware of this at all. Hates, don't give away the opportunity. He does. The pistol required to get that kill, but still an advantage for VIVO Key. Hates might go down, might be 0-8, but he's at least taken a lot of HP off KZ. JB92 fell across. Also worse for wear, especially with a couple bullets in the SMG-12. Much stronger showing for VIVO Key on this defense. This bedroom hold, not necessarily stumping FURIA. They have an idea for how to counter it with the utility, but this time the swings from VIVO Key finding a lot more purchase onto the body. JB92, the only one left outside on bedroom balcony. A couple flashbangs maybe to facilitate the entry or bait out a swing from the player he knows is playing close on the bedroom wall. But now it's time for VIVO Key to play
以前ほどの打ち合いの強さないな。ダブルセブン M。ダブルセブン M じゃねえよ。フリアさん。いや、ブラジル強いチーム多いな、やっぱ。
Small tower if that's what they want. Lenda will be a permanent threat to the backline of FURIA, whether they want to push from small tower or if they push the big tower side. Could hop out, but still. Bit of over
ネモフィリア、フィラ、クレスト、リアライズの4チームが LC お決まった。
Make sure that he's clear to go and get that kill with the Solus cut down early on. FURIA going to be a lot more comfortable droning inside of the map.
ブラジルってさ、CS 時代からもう完全に FPS 大国だよ。
Knows there's one working its way in from the kitchen area, but he's full white. He'll be full whited again. KZ in. Skeleton Key at range.
うまい、今別の車線に入らないように最小限の詰めしかしなかった。すげえ車線管理うまいな、やっぱヘイズ。
I mean, this is we've said it already a few times, but this is quintessential FURIA. when they are at their best.
そう、E363引き取ったらしいよ。しかもなんか3マップ目0-7で負けたスタッツみたいな。1マップ目7-0で勝ってたんだけど。なんなんだその試合って感じだけど。
With the 4v3 meeting control established, they can start rotating to the backside. Only issue though, no hard breaching. So if they do want to open up any extra angles, no secondary charges, no primary, no Dokubi calls for JV92 either, and no man advantage, just hates. Gets his first kill in a time where it is absolutely critical. Might cost a lot of his HP, but denying FURIA that advantage, following it up with a second to give VIVO Key the lead in the 3v2. This needed to happen, and with those Zotos as well, one more in pocket, he can stall out the flood from FURIA for just a little bit longer. Bellapox and JV92 will need to have their work cut out for them if they want to get match point in round 9.
上取り返したな。
So much to get done though.
ハードブリーチができないのは
You
結
can
構
clearly
意外に
tell the
響い
lack
て
of
る。
hard breach is what's kept them out of this round. Not only not really able to open up a few things, but these hatches, especially on this verticality, something that could have been
Whoa.
very, very helpful.
うわ
Discovery here by
ー
JV.
忍者じゃ忍者。
Using that land audio to its maximum efficiency. Crouch walking up top.
これで上だと
Using
思
that
う
slow
よ
walk to JV. Can he do it
な。うわ、
again?
落ち着いてこれで上でコントロールするんだ。セキュリティなしは確認した。
Hornet.
いや、当たってる当たってる。
Very well.
いや、うまい。
JV finds
うまいけど、マンボイは。いや、これは攻撃が不利。
knows where he is now, though. Lenda's going to try and run
上
for the
行っても
hills.
いいし
Thinks he's
な。
working his way in from the rear, and he is, but Fleepox, he chooses
いやー、よく耐え
incorrectly.
た。
And that's going to be the round as VIVO keyed once again in a pseudo clutch moment, able to gun down the rest of FURIA.
Close round that VIVO keyed down to basement as the going to expect it, and there aren't exact
イゴールコーチ。
Round of getting
これタイムアウト。
VIVO
まあ、そりゃそうだよな。
the Malusi laundry freezer push. There is utility in place from VIVO.
リザクラさんこんばんはいらっしゃい。
Oh man. You gotta love Siege, right? Oh
攻
god.
撃はいまいちだったけどさ。
Oh man.
That's not good.
Sometimes
攻撃は
you
今
ask
このオレゴンだと
the
パッと
universe
しなかっ
and
た
you
け
just
ど。
receive, don't
I
you?
mean,
防衛はかなりいいよ、ビ
it's
ボ。
sad because I always like that mute play. I like the solo play. Put the mute jammer, below you. Try to deny intel, and then he just gets pinged by the jackal, and there's nothing he can do as Nate has taken big tower control.
ブラジルだけ今の防衛してくれって飛んでます。そうなんだ。攻撃が間に合ってないんだね、各チーム。い
FURIA win or lose have been able to get it almost every single round, save for the Dorms attack where they were
や、こ
completely
こで
shut
さ、
out.
ジャッカル入れてきたの
Not
結構秀
necessarily
逸だよ
conditioned
な
at。this point that FURIA will
結構
win,
コーチ
but
のアドバイス
a
な
team
気が
that's
する
so。reliant on it and needed hates to swing out of the small closet to get it on the
い
previous
やー、
attack.
これトレンドでか
This is the same
い。
advantage for a lot less
バルキリいるからでかい。
All the Valkyrie camera is going to go to the offense now too, so
同じこと言ってる。
blows away.
Super 90.
Yeah. Great shotty. One that has a
強っ
storied history.
いや、カバーが、ネイドのカバーが先からすごすぎる。全部ショットガンでカバーしていく。
1014. Man, hates. A little nerfed in this game, but still scary when he gets on the
なんか
swing.
世界
right?
的に俺もブラジルの方が英国環境になって攻撃取ってるイメージあるんだよ
Taking
な。
the time once again,
俺は思う。
JV, he saw it.
でもそれは NA と EU だけを見た俺の結果かもしれない。
Here, I think he saw that break in the stage wall and
全体的には防衛が高いんだ
at the end of the day.
There's not a whole lot to be gained on
フロスが変なショットガン持ってるんですよ。
However, just by
ダブル
holding
ショットガン
this
だ。
position, he could certainly make it difficult for FURIA to push
ダ
down
ブル
with
ショ
the
ットガンだ
shotgun so close.
メインでショットガン持つ必要あるか
It's difficult to challenge, but at the same time,
どう
falling
なんだろうね。
back for Hornet, there aren't a lot of positions to contest with the Super 90 unless you're able to play close
うわー、
to
噛み合った
KZ
でも、
just
バンシャある
moved
からちょっとい
down
けない
right
よ
as
な
the Legion drops off. The timing certainly going Furia's way a little bit on some of these swings. They still need to push down, and ultimately, despite the 4v3, in the low
ここでバンカー行くんだ。時間ねえぞ。あー、ハッチを下ろす。これ、バンシ壊しに行ったんだ。でも、ハッチにやりたいよね。そうだよね。あらららら、これはフリアペースだぞ、完全に。タイムアウト使っちゃったよ。
So already having a little bit of a different story, but we have the same result. That's what we're
ここから
looking
いけ
to.
ると。
Last time around, FURIA did have the Habana along for the ride.
ネイド
and
めっ
she
ちゃ
was
喋っ
doing
て
a
んだ
lot
よ
of the heavy lifting when it came to getting rid of a lot of the barriers. But the 417
なんか以前よりもコミュニケーションめっちゃしてる気がする WCBM。
really good damage profile and what?
JB の調子が良すぎ。
He's gonna get discovered all the way over on an attic rotate on his own island, essentially. Hornet's getting tagged up now. Has VIVO keyed flown too close to the sun?
いやー、引かせない。
ハ
ハーデスらしい踏み込みやな。あ、ヒロでいらっしゃい。実況お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございます。うわー、強い JB が強い。JB、SMG12 が強すぎ。いや、今の完璧だね。この白い服の人めちゃくちゃ綺麗だね。誰かの彼女なんだろう。なんか日本人にも分かる綺麗さしてる。
JB running upstairs as Dokkaebi was conditioned. Won't find the Dokkaebi either way. Flank cam gone inside of Z, but with the front door open.
いやーこれでマッチ取ったのはでかいね。
Easily watch this peek from Hates. Dokeby call goes out.
うわ強っ。
Forward. Hates fries the Capitao.
キャピタン落ちたの痛いよ。
VIVO Keed getting aggressive in the face of potential defeat.
すごい当たってくるね。
Fall, but a 4v3 within the first minute, not something to slouch.
このメンバーのことダブルセブン M って言っちゃうのか分かるよね。
Especially with one of those picks being
フリアです。俺そんなに見れてないからさ、レギュラーシーズン。
FURIA inside of this game, a name that we really haven't talked about, but it's just been
リキッドは勝ち上がってきたら見てやろう。それぐらいの心持ち。ジャンゴさんこんばんは。実況お疲れ様です。ありがとうございます。
The key thing is here is that they don't have these capital bolts anymore. VIVO Keed, they're more than willing to try and take these opportunities, take these swings, and worsen FURIA's position. It's like we saw inside of the early round. That's what VIVO Keed has built this entire round on so far. Now rest at the precipice of success. Up man and more than willing to try and make a rotate too.
少人数戦はフリアのお手の物やろ。リキッドとか底辺ですから。底辺とは言わないけど、もうそんななんかコンセプトとかないチーム見ても面白くないじゃん。はっきり言ってしまうと。
Two Dokeby calls and an EU1D to be fair, as well as 4 flashes. They have a lot of utility to make maybe setting up.
もうダブルセブンも影のりの確率で出てきそうだからね。まあでもフリアもここで勝ってるから、まあ、先にネタバレするとね。4分の3だからな、限りなく可能性は高いよな。いや、キル取れなかった。オーバータイム熱いね。
I think not. Favorite here is SLB gets more defenses than FURIA.
CS のリキッド面白いんだ。最近 CS も見れてないからな。バルも全然見れてないし。
How important these offenses are going to be to their future.
いや、リキッド俺ほぼ見てない。なんか成立してないから何やってるのかがマジでわからん。グループステージ2試合ぐらい。
Not be able to defend their hand or defend their name at a major.
フリアのモチベは難しいと思うよ。でも多分活躍してフリアの待遇が相当良かったからチーム全体で移籍したと思うんだよ。ほぼチームメンバーの買い取りみたいな感じだから、給料とか多分相当上がってると思う。その辺がモチベになるんじゃないと俺は勝手に思ってる。これでもあれだね、盤面的には圧倒的にビボが有利だね。だって防衛オーバータイムに入ったから2回できるもん。
And the Banshees from the Malusi, but with a Black Mirror facing Launder, you're still going to feel really, really unsure about pushing until you get KZ to maybe crack them with those Ash charges. Good use of the Rotero drones by JB92 so far.
俺のモチベは別に、俺モチベで仕事しねえからな。単純にシージが楽しいだけだからな。あと日本のチームが頑張ってるのを見てるのが楽しいだけだから。真面目な話すると。
I think that's a question we all have here. Especially with the drone count starting to dwindle a bit for FURIA. They still got 5, so honestly not in the worst of straits right now. But they want to pick pretty badly. Be hers to try and deliver, and he will. What else would you expect out of this man? One of the best when it came to SI, and one of the best when it came to the stage. Another moment for him. He's making so much out of nothing. A frag grenade displaces Daffodil. They found 2 kills, all off Herds just walking inside of construction.
メジャー優勝すると弱くなるようにとうとうフリアもかかってしまった。いや違うよ。フリアはだってもう取れるタイトル全部取っちゃったからさ、これでモチベーションが続いてる方が、うわ抜いた。これでモチベが続いてる方が俺は化け物だと思うけどな。いやこれ優先順位が難しすぎる。リロードする余裕はないだよね。
FURIA wake up on the basement offense and they get the round they so desperately needed.
元ダブルセブンメンバーのフリアに全員移籍って昔のペンタ G2 みたいなイメージですか。いいです。それで合ってます。スキッパーの鳥越さんこんばんいらっしゃい。実況お疲れ様でした。ありがとうございます。いや今の JB はあれだね。英国環境に合ってる感じするな。やっぱヘイズとハーデスが苦しそうだな。特にヘイズだな。
One that allows you to be a little bit more free in your choice.
多少負けることで勝ちたくなる気持ちを思い出してるし。いやマジでモチベむずいと思うけどな本当に。化け物だぜ。
The great SMG at the end of the day. See FURIA Trying to nip this in the
でも
bud
今のさ
early here.
勝つべくして
Vivo
勝つラウンド
quickly to a run out. Hazy, he's
うおー
ready and he loses it to Hayes.
ほらヘイズやっぱこれ
Loses
絶
it
対
indeed,
エイムの森に迷い
but
込んで
down
る
to such low HP. Impact downs him on the retreat by the Azami. Daffodil trying to go in for the trade, but Herds is long
完全にエイム
gone.
の
Backed
森に
off down
森に
the
迷い込んで
pillar.
るぞヘイズ
That means
ハ
no
ーデス
man
はいけ
advantage
そう
for
だな
Furia, though. Daffodil, don't overplay your hand, my friend. Maybe waiting for aggression from Furia, but there's nothing to be found. Ironically, right as I say that, JV92 runs out of bunker, but aside from that, there's a 5v4 for Vivo Keed. Hates might be on low HP, but that's still an advantage for a site that has been so difficult for every attacking team.
We'll get the hatches open, but
いやーこれで一気に
starting to
苦し
get
くなった
really
ね
difficult here for Vivo Keed. Yeah, they've taken out KZ, but Hate's very low HP. Lenda constantly walking into these goo mines. And that's just not
いやー
something
レンダ
that's
グ
beneficial
ー
for
マイン
him
で
at
削ら
all.
れ
He's
すぎ
already
て
at
る
half HP. These smokes from Philippox now going to matter a heck of a lot more than they already
選
did.
択にいることはバレてるけど展開型シールド重すぎだろこれ
First flashes go out. This deployable shield will be incredibly important, but the position already cleared as the
バックの
Rotera
英語
drone
かっ
goes
こいい
out.
わかる
Nate's gotta leave.
あと
Could
レーザー
retake
サイト
the
つけるとかっ
angle
こいいよね
rotate
やっ
from
ぱりゴテ
line
ゴテして
alongside Herds and a third player all contesting this freezer position. Smoke canister going out. Lenda's got to be cautious.
いやーまあ
But
展開型
Nate
シールド
runs
ないから無理だ
across and stems
あら
ready for it.
3v5
Peeking between the Monty shield and
これ
the
取れ
walls.
たら
Gives
話変わる
Vivo
ぞ
Key a necessary 5v3. With those two toxic canisters for Felipox and Lenda below 50 HP, there's still a chance this Monty could be
た
stalled
だまだ
out
フェ
for
リポ
too
と JB
long
残ってっから
or
な
step a little too far. So many aggressive angles held by Furia. JV92 holding down the backside as well. Everything Furia can possibly contest with so little manpower. That's the case.
Stop
Hertz
this.
able to find one. Flashbang goes
How
in.
does that-
JV ready for it.
Ah,
Hertz certainly
JV,
ready too. A massive double
Must
kill to
they-
come exactly as they
Ah,
needed to take the
no.
advantage
ガス
away.
でステップがいいんじゃ
Down by the smoke
これ起こしてる
on
余裕
the
ないだろ
floor. Lenda goes for the revive. Puts the shield on his back. Tries to save the team on
取り
map
切っ
one.
た
But their pick is off or not. Their attack ends in shambles. 8-6 for
ー
Furia.
ねえ
They
ヘイ
win
ズ
their
がやっぱりちょっ
opponent's
と
pick, and we've got
迷いの森に
Clubhouse.
入ってるこれ
They're
は
old reliable right after.
でもこうやって見るとさまあオレゴンだったっていうのもあるけどフリアずっと見てきた身からするとやっぱテンポ感がだいぶ遅いねそれは別にチームがどうこうじゃなくてやっぱ英国環境っていうかスコープの覗き込むの遅い環境がそうさせてるんだろうな
Yeah, but I mean,
クラブハウス
from a different point of view, right? Like if you are a fan of Vivo Keed, would you rather be knocked out by the world champions or somebody else, right? At that point, it's like, well, what exactly can we do?
You'll take,
I mean,
you'll
it's
take, you'll take what you can get.
yeah, exactly. But I will say this: it's been hotly contested between these two squads. Routinely,
Nice.
this time around, though, not so much. As Stemp has been more than discovered inside of Waits, and he's more than dead now as he attempts to cross back to safer pastures. Birds will gun him down. They've already gotten the jacuzzi wall open, and that happened
Oh,
lickety
what
split.
you-
I mean, we're only a minute and 10 in.
And the coordination right there, just one single canister from that swarm launcher, combined with some pressure from Herds on the jacuzzi balcony. That's everything that you want. The C4 comes
Yeah,
out from
これきついぞ。
bathroom. Everybody backing up,
Yeah, too.
anticipating it. The warden smoked right as he takes the fight. Furia certainly in form in round one. They don't even need an
ヘイズ
necessarily
レ
hit
ティ
the
クルが
site
多分
right
ち
now,
っちゃ
though there
い
is a bit
方
of a
がいいん
gap
だ
at
な
the
これ
moment.
このサイト使ってるってことは
Might just be the counter for a Daffodil 2 on this long angle from
多分そう
construction.
だ
There are ways for Vivo Key to back into this. Oh, but with the player Logi spotted with his back turned, Hornet's got to be careful. The B's coming out. Relay his position for just a couple seconds. Another drone dedicated to hunting him down, though. All that utility out from KZ. He's used it to
バスルマ
facilitate
取られてる
quick push in the
強
back.
い
Swings out. Hornet finds him. Will there be the trade? Not necessarily onto Hornet.
いやー
certainly onto
もう
Daffodil.
位置限定されてるもんな
JV92 drops. Down goes the mute. Hates down below. Has got to do the work of a team. Herds down by the EDDs. Makes this a
EDD で
little
ハー
winnable.
デスかな
Only one player you have to find, but they
いや
drop
ちゃ
down
んと
and
潰
shut
しに行くも
him
ん
down on the
フ
first
ェリポ
floor.
ックスがやっぱめちゃくちゃ
A
強
game
い
of
な
reads by Furia, and they are
Kind of
この環境をものにした男フェリポックス
This is V first.
step okay, then you might walk into a goo mine or walk into EDDs. It's something that could happen. So, with the Legion being on the board, Solus also being on the roam, as you can see, there are some good ideas from Vivo Keyed, but everything about that Gym bedroom attack beginning to end was so clean, and now as they've spotted somebody on the roam,
Oh.
they've cut off
Here's the
Daffodil,
Mizumi no
Stem
toki ka.
support on the bottom floor. The Solus might just have to play her life. Flashbang goes out, just threads the needle through that rotate hole just to try to
やべ
get
周り
back.
から先に消さ
Will
れ
the
てる
round be over by the time he finds any
Ah.
impact whatsoever? Everyone is off the board from Vivo Keyed. Lenda the last alive down below. Every kill has happened off the
地下に
site, it seems.
地下に
Legion on box one.
誰もたどり着いてないのに一人しかいな
A
い
bit of a difficult position. As what he's supposed to do right here, you know you're in a 5-1 half, and nobody from FURIA is even on the bottom floor.
Oh, Linda left to flounder inside of church.
これ絶望だろ。1分で全部削られたぞ。
Better pick one, because there's 5
うわ、
coming
スタ
for
ン
you.
絶望。
Definitely need the backup, my friend.
絶望。
And it's gonna be
It's not coming. He had before you're
at the CCTV bomb site is it kind of dictates the positioning for you. There's not very many things that we see go awry when it comes to that. Maybe we'll see a roamer here, or maybe somebody playing inside a stock there, but past that, it usually is a pretty straightforward affair when it comes to the defensive standpoints. And it looks something like this. Player over inside of Master, a few maybe over inside of Cash / CCTV rather, then have that last player over inside of Big Garage. What Vivo Keyed are going to be giving us, at least for the first minute and a half, and FURIA doing their best FURIA as they will await things right at the gates with some guns trained on this breach.
監視金庫だけどカピタオグリムみたいな構成じゃない。JB?
Herds once JB goes in the building, still waiting for Lenda to try and rotate back, thinks he's safe when he's not.
すべての
The mastery of
空間を
controlling the
把
path
握
of
している
these
男
defenders
JB。
has been so impressive from FURIA. Not even necessarily getting aggressive, just knowing how the roamers are going to move, knowing how
俺
these
ヘイズが覚
defenders
醒して
are
る。
going to play. It has been a
俺の読みは
FURIA
ヘイズが
game,
一番
and they
対応
are
できて
just
ないと思ってたのに。
realizing the
あれ
path they've set.
Hates?
JB92
Oh,
though,
no.
not aware of Hates inside a bar. He's able to get the
これ
run
で
around
捕まな
on
いといけなかったぞ、フリ
JB92.
ア。
Cut off the Dokumi down below, trying to get aggressive, likely trying to rush up those red stairs, as it is a bit of a con push right now. FURIA with so many angles, the flat wall opened up, so many attackers on the construction side as well.
うお
Birds on the rappel, Hates will get a very necessary kill with that flat wall
そ
position
こまで追い込
Vivo
む。
Key to want to flood into construction. They don't have a
これでエリア
cut off
取
on
り
the
返
site
した
to
じゃ
make
ん
it easier.
逆エリアだけだ
so
な、取られて
terrified in my life. It seemed like he knew that that was going to happen, but potentially a little scared of somebody hopping out the secret window too.
Mitaro.
He's getting it done. It's been all him. It's a triple kill from the player that was downstairs on rotation, now making his way over into Big Garage.
なんかここら辺のコンビネーションがちょっとズレを感じるね。
Positions, they're just so necessary to how these sites work. And oh my, they're playing things up with the site players.
若干もったいないな、今の。
Don't have
フリア。
gamers
This is him right in front of him, in his way of a bright future in Rainbow Six and a bright future of a few majors, I would assume. Hates so talented, especially this entire stage where we've really got to see the full breadth of his capabilities. Now here with FURIA, trying to send them down to that practically participation trophy of the 5th seeding match. This will be left to the LC.
クリーミーさんお疲れ様です
touching on earlier if this does go awry here on Clubhouse for VIVO. Hornet trying to make that a non-factor, so continue to try and hold down Secret, but you can already see a few other tidbits starting to be built up for FURIA. So probably a better idea to peel that back, and Hornet responds in kind.
1-1になったんだ、韓国。 熱いね。
aggressively with a shotgun is something very difficult. I'm already looking at Herd's position right here and making sure that Vivo Keyed have a handle on the long hallway. I mean, surely, if they've been paying attention to Herd's career so far, if there's any place that he thinks he could find a gap, it's either the long hallway or blue, and they've got a tight
ブルーサンダースさん、
on
こんばんは。
both of those positions.
オレゴン
Vivo
初生
Keyed
で
make
行った
sure
ん
they're
だ。
not slacking there, or else an IQ might get in their faces in a very unexpected position.
PSG がうんこ漏らしたってどういうことだよ。
You can see how Herds is just waiting things out. It's not all just very simple things, not simple lineups like what we see here from Hates that takes away Felipox. It's all a patience game to see when FURIA can start delivering blows over on this eastern front, try and distract a few of these Vivo Keyed members. It'll make it to where this master position, or rather this main position, is a little softer.
なんか打ち合いはさ、結構ビボの方が5分以上に持ってってる気がするんだよな。
Such a necessary kill for Vivo Key to find. We've seen on that Oregon game how Herds can completely turn around on its head. Lenda cutting down KZ2. Nade and JV92, some of the best backline players we have, trying to bring this back. Nade with a nice shot on the Daffodil. Will certainly make it even. Not necessarily way into the site, though. The blue position still held by Vivo Keyed. They've got an angle if they peek too far out of the doorway. That MPX can find it, but Nade makes the smart play. Plants close on the door. JV's got to cover. Knows Lenda's on the doorway. Pre-fires left and right. One lands.
JV!
Doesn't even need to find the second because the coverage works.
JB 救いすぎ。
User down. Furia can now back off. Hold the long hallway. Hold the moto position. Lenda's got to find 2 1v1s, and I don't think
後半のラウンドめっちゃ緊張であかんかったから緊張したの。
A strong grip on
喉
the
全然大丈夫
economy
で
of
す。
these peaks. SMG12 close. No cigar. No shots fired. Furia 3-1.
EV90
今のはマジでうまかったな。ここうまかったな。ネイドがやっぱりうまいわ。ここの JB すごいよな。正面の車線捨てたもんな、一回。うますぎ。
Not only that, but now for VIVO Keyed, I had the stank face going on there for a second because I was like, what are we doing with this cache side setup? They've stripped every single wall over on the far side of cache. But for Furia, that isn't at least going to be the main tail as of right now. They're going to be working on the tub side, but sort of transition over there. Some angles that VIVO Keyed do have to worry about, but remember, that is a two-way street at the end of the day, too. So usually end up benefiting the defense a little bit more if it's unbeknownst to the offense. They walk into something that's set up a little bit differently than is traditional.
And the idea is decently apparent. I mean, if they want to go for the same clear, I'll be at a different site. Well, never mind. We just have the ace inside of the site and quickly out of the round. Great find by Stemp, even at the cost of a lot of his HP. Bird's going for the up-tempo play. Will certainly pay for it. A nice pre-fire as well. Cuts Nade down inside of the bathroom. KZ clinical on the trade. But the damage is done with the loss of herds and even further, because that's diffuser dropped, isolated the attack inside the bathroom. There are still players around the bedroom position that can hold this. KZ walks in, as right as I say that, there is nobody actually watching. He's able to make his way not into the site, certainly into bathroom, but his position revealed. Hates peppers him up from below. The adrenal surge will recover a bit of that lost HP. JV knows somebody inside a cache. He actually downs him. Very impressive find. I thought Lenda might have had the advantage there. Close maybe with the shotgun, but a good pre-fire from JV92 again has brought that man advantage back. But KZ struggling to find anything given away by VIVO inside the bomb site. Will fall another disadvantage. Fellapox might find it, but VIVO Keyed are holding on just as close as they need. Hates off the site. Hornet alone for a little bit. The Solus rotates up main. Joins forces on the bedroom doorway. Double stack. Only one found. Switch to the pistol, surely not hit, surely not, you'll find it with the P90.
そこ行くんだ、そのまま。
Big performance from Hates in that 1v1, but it's still...
コンセプト強いよね。逆に HTZ とかが今一つだね。このマップは頑張ってるけど、さっきのオレゴンはマジ死んでた。
VIVO Keyed had one before they went on Gym Bedroom, just one round to go. It was Hates with that 3K on the Solus, on a roam, that got VIVO Keyed that round in the end. He's not there anymore. He's on mute, likely on the site. Daffodil's the one trying to get aggressive. Trying to take the fight around this Kiba inside of the blue stairs. Herd's leery of it. Herd's aware of it, more importantly. Now, Daffodil, it's actually... these CCTV roams are throwing me off. It's a basement defense, excuse me, from VIVO Keyed. But unsurprisingly, given their previous defense, everyone and their mother was on the top floor in the early round.
What else would you expect? Somehow, some way, though, VIVO Keyed have been able to peel this back successfully. The one thing that you and I have been touching on throughout this game and quite a few games for the Furia old W7M roster is their ability to not only discover these realms, but I mean, retroactively through that, or I mean, rather proactively, set up a lot of cutoffs and make it to where a lot of these players either get A, tagged up, or B, die on their rotations back. And Hates, well, he might be the next victim because there's a Jackal in this offensive lineup, and it rests at the feet of Hates.
Yeah, but Herds, I believe, out of Inox scans, actually, but it seems that they're still aware of his position, using a drone actively to find it. Point still stands. So the Jackal who finds him even too.
Also, I did see him scan. I was going to say, also, I did see him scan through the wall over there, but hey, you know.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
I mean, listen. Herds on Jackal, the C7E, might as well be equivalent to an Inox scan. He will always find his target with that.
It is the truth, my friend. It is indeed. How are we doing on hard breach though for this offense? I didn't bring in KZ with it, so he'll have to do hatch duty here. I highly doubt it's going to be Nade, and as we did have that roam, that also means, Carter, we're not going to have any dirt reinforcements.
No. Skeleton Key will open that up quickly, but Furia running out of time. If they want to make their way into the site, they've got the 5v4, that's nice, but they keep a barricade on that door. That will very much
どう攻め
reveal
る
their
の時間ない
positioning,
の
but Fellapox might be able to take it quickly. KZ cut down though. Hurt's good on the trade. Hurt's very good on the trade.
Blue hardest hits 押し込んだ。
kill as this round still incredibly close. Vivo Key can
さあ
survive
時間がない。
close on the
ま
dirt
とめないと。
doorway, still inside of blue.
オー
Hornet's
デン
got
ぞ
to do double duty, watching two separate positions, but it's possible.
なんかデジャブだな、こ
Theoretically
の車線。
possible. JB knows the position. 10 seconds remaining.
うわ、
Makes his way
強
in.
い。
Touchdown step. Hornet the only one alive. A nice flick onto the man with the diffuser. 4 seconds to find him. 4 seconds to live. And time. That is run out for the Warden. Stuck
こ
inside
れ
of
なんでも
blue.
できんじゃん JB
Lead
も
can burn for Furia.
これ無理だぞ JB がいたら何でもできんじゃ
There
ん
is if you're Furia. The priest, well, he's probably JV92. The man
いやだ
over
って今
inside
ディ
of
フューザー落としたとこまで完璧だったぞ
Compare. Maybe got more. Look, he saw him.
But when it comes to the gunfights, that's where
いや
things
JB はねさっきのオレゴンもバカ強かった
wild. That'd be expected out of them.
時代は JB だで多分ねロック主体の立ち回りになるから JB 得意なんだよこれ
Furia. Downstairs, we bring in Fenrir as well as Solus too. I've seen these two partnered up. We've actually got the tried and true trio of the defensive operator bastion that we've had across this last
いやでも
year.
ヘイズ
All coming
と
to bear
ハー
here,
デスが
aren't
もう
we?
一つや
So we've got the Azami. It's a little sprinkle, if you can even call her that. She's basically the whole cake. She's got so many of those Kiva barriers to try and apply to the site, trying to assist with the basis of this. Actually going to swing through on a pseudo drive-by the Lamborghinis out to play for Felipox.
I gotta be careful right there. Don't want to give up your Kiva barricades, especially if they can bolster the AK's position. It can make a kitchen drop really difficult for Vivo Key to stomach. Of course, with the F-Knots, the Specchio, as you pointed out, so many ways that Furia can get an edge over Vivo Key. Whether in the drone count, which is still decently solid for Vivo Key, actually. The F-Knots, which could make it a lot more difficult to Kibas to deny positions.
あら順調じゃない人がここにいるバレてるんだうわ強いこれでも英国の勝利だなどう考えても
on top of Oil Pit, the IQ is wise to his tricks. 5v4 established for Vivo Key.
Super unfortunate for Herds. You could see he wanted that so bad.
あれモブストリームしたいの
Spamming the angle with the P90, and we've seen that work time and time again for players across the board, across the globe. But this time around for Herds, it won't be the same ordeal. He'll lose his life inside of Raj.
実況はって直帰だよ
They've got the man advantage, although the timer starting to eat at them. We're sub-minute now, still have a few requirements, some prerequisites. Try and match. You can see Furia, they're ready for these. They're ready for something like main stairs.
Oh,
Try
今上
and
に引っかかった
boil over. Although Lend is here, a Nitro Cell is actually going to land on the door
一段しか開いてない
instead. Now Vivo Keyed, looking for another pick, try and work their way into this site.
Now the feed holes maybe to catch somebody rotating across. It's at least allowed Hornet to rotate in. Furia still need to fight back to hold these positions. Daffodil makes it a lot more difficult. Carves his way through Arsenal. 3K with the SMG-12. 1 clip required.
VIVO やるね落ち着いてる
Got a pretty low something that when it comes to stay true to your strategy, you'll probably provide a
結構
fold
石いったやん
eventually that will get one over on this offense. Especially when it comes to Furia. I mean, talk about folds, right? We can just see so many different ways this whole thing could end up going down. So one thing about Furia, you got to really keep things open and honest, even from a caster scenario. Because, I mean, as of right now, Furia could just smack one window, kill 2 people, and it's over. Just, hey, what do you know? I mean...
Actually, that was a breach. That wasn't a window.
Stokes, that was a breach, and he ran out on plat. What do you know?
Well, what I do know is Stemp's dead. I know that one for a fact. KZ, can you do us better?
Daffodil. Might not be
Daph,
long for this world.
there is an Apple AirTag somewhere in your existence, somewhere near you. And KZ is using that as a ping to try and take you out. Very close.
リアライズ勝ちましたねあそう勝ってたね
And Daffodil's able to make his way into garage. But remember, this is a gym bedroom defense, and the round is
うわ
being
危な
won
った
in CCTV and
JB が全部狩りして
3
る
kills for JV. That's all he's gonna get. Hornet just
JB すでに12キル
with that kill. As clearing out the roam at the cost of what your hard breach, one of your top fraggers. That's so
Everything
much for
important to you.
Everything important except maybe an exothermic and a couple EMPs if you want to go open up another breach. Not exactly great. Final exothermic dedicated to clearing out CCTV and cache. Only 1 drone remaining between these 2 active players. And FURIA make the smart call. Don't need to get too aggressive.
逆は取れたけどね。
Angle, but you don't take a quick
犠
swing.
牲が大きすぎ
They can
る。
hold Logi. They can hold the bedroom and gym positions. This is a winnable round. This is a 5-3 right here.
いや、S マードも取れてないから、
Keep your lead.
きつすぎる。
Well, they've
き
already
ち
done
い
it. And if you didn't believe him, you better now. Hate's off the board. Only down the Hornet. He's got the L85 and now some time to his name, but has 4 bodies inside of
これは
this
さすが
site
に
that
厳
he
しか
has
っ
to
た
try
な。
and find. And it's going to be herds.
Bleeding a little bit. First on
タイムア
more
ウト
step.
You do
そうだね。ちょっと流れ作れてないね。
you just don't master, but
So many 3Ks, so many 2VXs he's helped get for FURIA. Such an instrumental player for their success. Really the big one showing up. Though obviously Fellapox and Herds. Fellapox also having a great map. 1, KZ2, 6, and 6. Nobody's really costing on the side of FURIA. But JV92 is just performing that well. I would not want anybody else to play Raptors if I'm being totally honest. Behind these Kiba barricades.
どうしてフリアが全 W7M のロサ買ったんですか？いや、それは強いチームだからです。俺たちが W7 よりも給料払うから、俺んとこ来ないかって言ったんです。
With a 5-5-2 and some well-placed shots. It's been Stemp on solo duty to actually bring it back, but Hates all the way inside a bedroom, walks into some EDDs. A bad way to almost lose the advantage. I just praised you for neutralizing.
I'm just going to work his way in here. A little worried about a potential flank boiling over. Only that, but he's going to be on
リバイブは叶いましたか？ちょっとミスっていうか慌ててきたね。
Has already used one of those, but it was deep in the heart of sight. Nothing they could really do about that, even through vertical means, is just standing on top of the green box. Didn't have to really do too much in that scenario. So now Vivo keyed, kind of shifting gears. Initially showing face over towards that main plat wall and potentially building things up for a garage take, but instead they shifted things on over to the construction side, which is especially given the kit that they ended up bringing. That garage position probably going to be pretty difficult to try and deal with.
Don't have the capital bolts. I mean, maybe you could use the death mark.
強いチーム抱えた方が知名度当然上がってスポンサーもつきやすくなるからね。フリア CS、バロランとか。なんか立て直してきてんだよね。前仮想通貨でこけたんだけど。T1 と同じ仮想通貨の会社がついて一気に経営になった厳しくなったんだけど。復活してきた。あら、3インじゃぐらいだと思う。
Hates, who is just meant to hold the position down inside of Lounge, now has to bring the round back, stop FURIA from getting match point. And 1 HP early on because of his own misfortune. Walking into those EDs makes it all the more unlikely. 6-3 series point for FURIA.
もうあっという間にマッチじゃん。
FURIA is looking to these rounds.
強すぎわろた。
And that for some these
本当にディフェンスが崩せないね。ちょっとセブンイレブンのツルルン杏仁豆腐食べながら見る。
FURIA with how strong they have looked so far and with how tough the competition is in the top 5 in Brazil, VIVO Kid almost certainly in that conversation as top 5. It's very difficult to find a way if you lose this to guarantee your spot going through the LCQ, but that is a long way ahead now.
崩しができないんだよ。
One round ahead for VIVO Kid if this round doesn't go their way.
崩しに行ったところ削りするんだけど、どう考えてもフリアが有利な感じになっちゃう。
time here still for VIVO Kid, so more than likely won't see the on explosion of VIVO Kid onto the site until later on into this. Probably going to want to be pretty mathematically sound about this too, huh, Carter? This could be it right here. FURIA does sit at the precipice of taking this series in a 2-0 fashion, and not only that, but they've also brought some toys of their own. I love this addition of Tubara that we're seeing.
Yeah, Tubara でタイミングずらされるのマジきついな。
Make it where VIVO Kid aren't able to get these things open in solid timing, and it's what it didn't bring a Maverick either, so there's really no way to get around this.
キャイさん、フォローありがとうございます。
Really no way to get around it. Also, no hard breach charges in the back pocket, which means if you end up maybe losing some X-Kairos to the impact trick, you might not get open everything you want because you want to save those Selmas for the church wall. You want to use it to open up that position when you bring it.
最近やっぱ一周回って祭壇割りまたしてるよね、みんな。
See the church arsenal attack that VIVO Kid went for previously. You don't want to lose it. The momentum, that's even more important. Something you don't want to slip away. Step trying to bring it back. The Tubara waiting. His crosshair placement so clean. He lands the shot. So do the rest of VIVO Kid. It's just Nate and JV left. 1v3 though. Step keeping VIVO Kid competitive. 3K on the walk up blue. A necessary win to stay alive, but even more so.
put a cap on the hallway. Plus, lane seems like it's able to go because trying doing.
Attacking
そう
ranks,
ね、
you are-
新オペはシ
I
ーズン
see
3
what
か
we need to
な。
address now. It's
シーズン2はあれでしょ、新オペレーターリワークでしょ。
It's a
新オ
it's
ペ
a
レーター
long
じゃない
stage
か。
defense,
ル
my
ーキー
friends,
リ
and
ワーク
this
でしょ。
call from FURIA is so nice on a round that VIVO Key need to win, so close to the line, throwing a new bomb site at them, one they don't have any previous experience with in this matchup.
ヘイズ
Can't
10によって
adapt
サイト
and
変えるんだ
can't
ね。
try
こ
and
だわり
think
がある。
about, maybe anticipate it as a possibility, but it'll all have to be in-round adaptations, seeing what's in front of you and then reacting to it in real time. And in a 4v5-2, adding on the wrinkle of working back a man advantage or trying to capitalize off a FURIA mistake, a brutal spot for VIVO Key to find themselves in.
Oh man,
Well,
and
it's
the
even
rub
worse.
just continues to get worse, man. The friction right now for VIVO Key up against
やっぱ
FURIA.
英語
They
の方が
can't
いいん
get
じゃな
a
いか。
single thing going. It wasn't her.
Yo!
It wasn't KC.
終わった。
It's a 2-0 finish. A
終わったぞ。
7-3 dominant
何この試合。
showing on Clubhouse. Especially from that man right there.
浮いてるヘイズに噛みつきに行ったら全部食われち
The
ゃった。
entirety of FURIA bringing it to bear
英国
on
全然大丈夫だ
Club
ったじゃないか。
and making VIVO Key look like just a completely different version of themselves.
ローソが LCQ でティア2チームに分けて、あーってなっても、まあそれはなるよな。
To again have to stay
厳しい言い方をすると、トップチームは負けちゃあかんのよ。それがトップチームゆえんだからね。お、両時間やってる。
10 to go and
2試合目ね、ブラックドラゴンズと E1。
Hasn't exactly been the greatest of straights for him here during the Brazil stage. He's 12-19. So
外との勝負はだいぶできない
negative
けどね、
7 on that. You come
今
out hot
自
to
分でやっ
trot.
てても
There's
思うけど。
something in the cards for E1, especially if they can get empties to try and back them up. And had an amazing start to the stage. Just needs to find his confidence once again
両
to
時
try and
間
take it to some
と
of these
ラ
better
ボなん
teams.
だ。へえ。
There's some decent confidence early on. Within a minute, able to repel inside.
俺新生 E1 ほぼ初めてぐらいだね。
That diffuser, but Black Dragons also, maybe paradoxically to some people, not making use of this checkers hallway. A lot of the times we'll see a shield over by the vending machine playing aggressively to contest these very tiny
E1
doorways,
結構いいよ
these
ね。
very limited points of entries for the attacking side.
知ってる選手って言ったらペレスと STK ぐらいだけどな。
Awesome.
Awesome.
To try and stop E1 from finding an easy picks. But Ryan, as I say that, somebody playing very close to giving away their position on that skylight angle. Thankfully, nothing found. If you know E1, they like to turn up the tempo very quickly too. Loira cuts on STK, but Arthur finds nothing on the yellow stairs. FURIA, a nice two-piece to cut things off. A double kill for Loira too. E1's bag of tricks certainly running empty in round one as the Blitz finds no purchase. The attack finds no ground on the checker side. Unless Empty's crosshair placement is good, it seems this double stab on his main desk will result in a
Left with all that legs of that
second the diffuse. But going for full clears and wide swaths of control is not exactly E1's playstyle. They might not have to deal with it a whole lot. Instead, it's very quick aggression taken by Black Dragons. On the art window, Empty's put to very low HP, but Ask doesn't press it too far. Pulls back, holds the existing angles, plays alongside the setup created by Gudo, Loira, and the Solus on the middle floor.
And that's why I think this is just such a difficult matchup for E1 as well, you know what I mean? Even though I say that, Paris is going to be able to find a gap at least, but to me, it just feels like Black Dragons is made for E1. They play a very similar style, they have very good guns, and I mean, in a lot of terms, they're practically just a better version of E1. Farther down the line and their ability to kind of flush things out. It'll be a 3 versus 4 here. Empties will go down. Not a bad trade so far. And Perez with the opportunity to get another one. Couldn't find him as he darts down the stairwell. So BP will at least will be able to keep 2 until Arthur, wow, eventually finds his way into the depths. I don't know if Florio gets out of this situation alive. He's trapped and practically dead to rights on a tri-cross.
今のラウンドマジで何起こったのマジで分からんかった。
In that round, really good Consulate for the series.
On a window. And, well, that's going to be a beautiful frag to start things off for Perez. A boon for E1, practically gifted. And, yeah, Perez and Arthur, back to the point that I wanted to talk about. Perez and Arthur are the two for me that have been the consistent pillars for E1. Even through the games where things haven't exactly been the best, they've at least been there to try and make it a factor for E1, try and pull something into their favor. And here, Perez, well, he at least gets one to start off in a pretty critical moment here as they sit 1-1.
はいはいさん、フォローありがとうございます。
With Ask as well as spread very far away from the defense, playing over inside of the secret position on that single panel, all the way basically in Narnia. That extends to the outside. He's a bit separate, providing useful intel, don't get me wrong. He's also not been read by E1 in this position, so he can not really tell where they're pushing, but most importantly, tell that E1 are not pushing the Visa side right now. That allows Black Dragons to reallocate their defenses to the yellow side to face this pressure, whether on the top floor or not, but specifically on this west side, and with the vertical control from the Solus as well.
シャミムさん、
Let's
こん
put
ばん
a
は。
little bit of pressure. Nux and Florio need to hold on. They're the only two anchors on site.
This info game might just be what is necessary for BD, but as soon as I say that, Ask, he takes a risk, offset info, and Perez is prepared. He'll cut him down with the 417-2. That's already 2 kills for him inside of round 3. He's going to hold the cut here for Spiral as well. More than aware that somebody might want to try and come out and play. As this timer starts to dwindle, Florio's in a very critical position too. That Nitro cell's already been expelled or maybe pre-placed somewhere. Just have to see. Nux that strikes next though, that M590 in close range on the stairs.
A difficult gunfight to take, but as we know, by the way, I believe the site is actually clear. Nux, Gudo, and Florio all in off positions. Really trying to play retake. Perez again with the cutoff! Flicks over 90 degrees to remove the head of Florio. Brutal gunfight.
180度とは言わんけど、ほぼそれぐらいの角度を処理したぞ。しかもマークスマンだぞ。
Nux goes for the retake. He'll find no purchase on E1's attacks. They take the lead. And that
For those that don't.
大会のライト気になりそうだよね。
point. I mean, gun with top to E1. Theoretically, it might get Black Dragons another win on the board, but we might need to see that transfer to other sites later on if they want a chance. But more importantly, if E1 find a way to dislodge it, the theoretical counter to them might not be as strong as we thought if they can pick up their third round on attack here.
It's going to be hard fought, though. We saw what they wanted to go for the last time. It was kind of hell of a handbasket as they tried to go for the entries on some broad swings, but got cut down repetitively by Black Dragons. Actually ended up resulting in a flawless round. U1 now have a lot to think about when it comes to that. The good news, though, haven't given up a body yet. They've got some solid positioning over on admin, those with a keen eye, we know that things look somewhat similar to the last time, too, when it came to this offense. Whereas, though, it's not as hot as he is now. He's holding that window cross, seeing if anybody wants to try and flirt with that CEO position. We do see one just potentially working their way over towards yellow.
ペレスはロック役なんだな。結構さっきからロックしてるもんな。環境にプレイスタイルがマッチし始めたんだろうな。
Before, at least lurking before, was found on that skylight. Didn't take any damage last time. This time, though, he's worked himself into the corner to support.
いやー、まあでもちょっと今日は力の差あったからな。
Moved into that position. E1 making a much more concerted effort to actually clear out this setup from Black Dragons. Before, the rush down yellow. This time, a full clear from admin. Is he aware Florio is in this position in the hallway to cut off these players completely? It is common, sure, but E1 haven't read it.
Oh, man.
They've let Florio slip by. E1D goes out. It's the last one. He might be frozen in place right now, but he springs like a snake. Cuts 2 heads off of E1's attack. It's limp on top of Checkers now. He's going for another. The madman on the Goyo knows he's in such a strong spot to get Black Dragon's second defense on the board. Just on the opposite side of Spiral, it's Nux with the third. STK cut down. Perez not long for this world. Another 3K, another 4K. But it's Florio.
Was the E. It's behind making
for decent introduction.
ブラックドラゴンズも調子良かったからな。
Things are comfortable with. As you said earlier, Arthur very comfortable when it comes to these shields. Although they've taken his Monty, they cannot take his Blitz. It's going to bring this mantle to bear yet again here. Also, speaking of things to bring, Shadows also brought the Kaid. See a drone donated to that earlier, but the real moral of that story is the fact that they're going to have to try and find a way to get rid of that Electroclaw if they want access to that hatch.
No EMPs on the board as well. No Thatcher, no secondaries. Could be a little difficult, though it might even be more so. We saw what what a shotgun can do in this position, even if it was just one kill.
アスクといえば、
これだな。あー、
近接まで来てるっていう感じで今、近接振ってたね。思った以上距離があった。
I just said, Could be very difficult. Peeking that shotgun right in the face. Good play from E1 to get the advantage.
アスクのスモークって強いよねって褒めようとした瞬間にブリッツは無理だったか。
Here for FURIA, but Arthur doesn't exactly have the worst HP in the world, especially for his 9mm. If he's tapping him in the shoulders.
いやー、突き上げいいと思ったんだけど
Will
な。
land on deaf ears though. Perez is actually going to be the first one to go down. No more 417. Apparently no more.
この黄色の柱乗っかせるのが大変だから。
Do too much here as of right now, as E1 has actually vacated the premises. Need to try and reinsert themselves on this mid floor, use a little bit of this verticality to their leisure.
And Lawyer with a good flank. Each time's in a pit, but somebody might be waiting! STK rips open the wall, surely as E-Ping. Surely a bit of intel on Loira on that flank to get the 4v3. But this Kiba still proving to be a problem. Impact goes out, it downs Arthur, and they re-put the Kiba up. It might just destroy it with that impact though, but Gudo, Floro, fighting for his life. It's instead Gudo to get the next 2 picks. STK on the vertical still very much alive, but
まあでも E1 に関しては言っちゃ悪いけど、このメンバーでよくここまで仕上げたよな。まあそれ言い出したらさ、今のフリアのメンバー勝ち始めた時もそんな感じだったからな。でも W7M ってすごいよね。その後メンバー、別のメンバー取っても、ちゃんと成績残してるからクソおもろいよ。ブラックドラゴンズ頑張ってんだけどな。マジで恵まれね。
I'm a little lost here area to try and stop this. What happened to the electricity here? Did he end up just putting it on a panel that was already electrified? Because that's his second exothermic gone. I'm a little lost here because we didn't have any impacts over here. Lawyer clearly has both of his.
I'm not entirely sure, but Perez back with the 417 is final let that do the talking. Cuts down Gudo. Not the source of impacts we were thinking about, as you were talking about. Loira still has both of his, still on the roam as well. So there are players for E1 to find, and you can see when the game is simplified, when you take gunfights to get these advantages. There's no hesitation, no discrepancy in their play. They're able to move in. It might be a 50-50.
なんか W7M に話移すと SNS とかのもちゃんと選手をこう盛り上げる感じでやってるから、やっぱチーム全体のやっぱりそういうなんだろうな、一体感というか、ちゃんと運営やってるなっていう感じするんだよな。
Well, there's one thing about Rainbow Six Siege that I know. There's no such thing as a safe bet. And the other thing is, at some moment in time, somewhere across the line, you're gonna have to take a gamble to get what you want. And that's what E1's trying to find. Looking to see where they could try and strike next. So far, the house is losing. Black Dragons lost 2 on their gambles on this mid and top floor, but
さあこのギャンブルに勝つか上限守り。
able to stave off into the later round. Able to try and see if maybe ask, maybe somebody like Nux or Loira, a big moment, maybe through utility, maybe through gunplay. Empties is thinking the latter for himself. He's got a beautiful cross at the bottom of Spiral.
So much time being spent on this. Almost a minute since they got this 5v3, and we've yet to see them convert, but now they move down to the bottom floor, going for the kills instead. Able to find what? STK smokes Ask on that position. Ridiculous shot right there. Baloira on the flank has cut down 2. It's a 1v2, though now a 1v3. So they've got a small amount of time to pick up empties. But on this vertical play, does he know they've rotated down to the bottom floor? Uses the hash to drop. Players moving up to the top. Empty's able to cut him down. Tie game, 3-3 at the side swap. E1 just barely neutralizing Black Dragon's lead.
And there he is.
今のはさすがにやな。ここでロリアがちょっと可能性を作ったかに見えたけど、ここの変物強すぎる。一進一退ですな。
STK have the vision. That's the real question in a position like this. You can see the amount of respect that Black Dragons is giving over to EU1 in this earlier portion right now, too. He brought the death marks of Loira, so he's probably going to try and coexist for some time. Maybe just try and mark things out initially. There's a couple of these to assist. Keep himself alive. The longer you see this man able to keep this op around, the more these things can deal some serious death blows.
いや、フェンリルはマジでタイミング合わせるの無理よ。
You get some early intel like this.
ソリスよりも何回も言ったけど、ソリスよりも先にフェンリル調整してほしい。来シーズンがソリスなんだよね。
Intel being relayed, you can see now Nux going on the cutoff, made to go in, but ooh, brilliant play by STK, cuts down the coverage in the C4, cuts Loira's rope, drops him down to the bottom floor, off the rappel entirely. Great play not only to keep the Azami alive, but to use that intel, that intention from Black Dragons to find the opening pick on the player stuck in printer against the attack themselves. Really brilliant stuff from E1 in the first half of the round, and now they get to just play Consulate. Hold these tight hallways, hold these doorways. There's not much Black Dragons can do to fight this back.
This is perfect Consulate. Funny enough, the two operators that are utilized to take out Nux and Loira right there, it's their best map. It's Pulse and it's Solus. Consulate has so much soft destruction as well as 3 levels that both of these ops can use their full advantage through all of it, even from, you know, all the way in the basement. 本当にペレス強いね。It's truly insane. And E1 are using that.
友堂さんの見やすいサイトには何ですか？もう普通に赤とかでいいんじゃない？赤かグリーン。
On the church stairs, and yeah, the bees are going off. But do you think this man's scared with M590? More than likely not.
Gudo's certainly scared to peek that shield. I mean, what's he to do? Empties, cuts them both down. E1 up 4-3 on their first defense. A really well coordinated roam into a
blood.
Hill E really roam 4-3
to make a road. The mid floor.
打ち合いのベースがめちゃくちゃ強いなブラジルは。なんか NA とか見てても NA をずっと見続けてきたけど NA と比べてもやっぱベースのフィジカルのブラジルの強さを感じるわ。
Somebody like Arthur over on the pillar. But if they don't have the capabilities of dealing with some hard points on these vertical positions, E1 will just win it out in that way instead.
Something they'll have to concern themselves with, how they are going to cut those players out. I mean, again, they haven't found much just yet. I mean, thankfully, despite the Solus on the board, a lot of these drones still intact, so Black Dragons can hunt down these roamers and try to excise them from their various positions. Finally, Capcan will be spotted upstairs. Perez, the top frag in the lobby, 8 and 4 at the moment. Though a lot of those.
So we're going to need some communicative skills out of STK.
試合の寄りが確かにすごい感じがする。
on Ask. He knows he's inside yellow. Revolver out. This thing, ever since this op has came in, man, I always just sweat a little bit when it's in Deimos' hand. It's just so much damage, but that round count,
いやもう今フラググレネードが。
at the end of the day.
あ、壊す目的って相手を動かすってこと？キルにつなげる。それは確かに多いかもしれない。
Somehow found a way in.
What is happening? What is going on?
I was about to say, there's so much action happening at different points of the map. Ask found out on that Deimos, though, so the death mark will fail. The lawyer was like, guys, can we rotate in, please? Can we please get this diffuser down? Nux will finally make his way in. FURIA can still cut off his Solus's rotation back to the site. Nux should be in the clear to get this down as long as the angles hold, and they will. Empty's dropping a second too late, but just into a pre-existing angle held by the attack. Nux with the finisher, Black Dragons with the lead. Has FURIA found the Solus? Yes, he has, but Perez has cut down 2! The mechanical skill on display from E1 has been ridiculous so far. Now it's put Loira at a disadvantage, has found the cap can again, is able to cut him down to the 3K, but not go for 4. E1 keep the round alive in the 1v.
But out of
have been ridiculous.
今のめちゃくちゃ F2 跳ねたな。
Possibility of with that Specchio, she does see a lot of presence on one particular side from Black Dragons. They might not know this is a Sens, Glass, Blitz, Amaru rush. But they could realize that it's going to be a heavy play bias towards one side. ROUs already go out. Boogies go in. Blitz goes down. Multiple Black Dragons bodies hitting the floor. Empties goes to contest. He loses the fight, but extracts a heavy toll from Ask, taking that engagement. Felled by Arthur on the follow-up. FURIA is trapped inside of the breach. Akiba in his way. The ROU will allow his way in, but he's got to recover the diffuser. It's dropped bottom yellow. The Nux likely with that.
まだ1分45秒だよ残ってる。早すぎる。一気にマッチポイントか。まあ E1 ピックの領事館なのね。何？ちょっと待って見て。
Assuming they win this one. You've already had one overtime, one map of the day, but is it a quick exit? A player waiting! The lawyer not able to get the shot.
叫んでるなんか。
across the stage
これはちょっと不用意すぎたとしか言いようがないね。
Trash talk, certainly a strong capability for EU1, able to cut down Loira with the EU1Ds to find these roamers, an early advantage acquired for EU1. I mean, how do you fight back from that at this point? Getting so aggressive, feeling so confident. They recovered the diffuser.
ちょっとブラックドラゴンズ自利品だね。
They've not begun anything just yet. Now somebody might have to rotate over and hold that cutoff position too. Certainly rough to start. At least they've opened the breach, I guess, but how likely is it that E1 just decide to run out through the very hole created by Black Dragons?
What an insane set of circumstances that E1 have put Black Dragons
情報はどこまで
into.
取れて
This
る
is definitely not how they saw this going, especially with how things started off on this consulate, right? I mean, things were
いやー、これ
pretty
戦
back
術
and
核
forth
が
at the
余るなんだ
start,
け
but then
ど、
all of a sudden
ちょっと
E1
入れどころ
the
困ってるね。
tirade run rampantly over Black Dragons, especially when it comes to these defenses, and it's looked quite convincing. They take out Loiri here on a
まあ
very
プロの
advanced move,
プレイはマジ
something
で
that you'd
参考になって、
honestly
その
expect
後
the Black Dragons
直
to
結
check.
で使えることっていっぱいあるからね。使えないことももちろんいっぱいあるけど。プロの技量をそもそもね、真似できないから。それは絶望。
Widespread run out and oh my, look at the angles.
よく押し切ったな、これ。うわ、悪魔に踏んでる余裕ない。
But those wolves have names. It's E1 Sports, the very first map.
Such a strong debut in this series for
まずはね。
E1. The
さあ、ナイトヘブン行きましょうか。
wall successful bandit trip,
2マ
but
ップ目。
also just by itself making it more difficult to open walls. And on a map where I was going to say that the external walls can play such a powerful dynamic, it could be a problem, but then again, so could the gunfights from E1, so could the mechanical skill of these players. It's what we saw on Consulate, and Empties reminds the Black Dragons of that fact by cutting down Lawyer in the first 30 seconds of the game.
He had to have caught him lacking right there outside the door. Yeah. No, it's through the verticality. He caught him inside of IT through verticality on the window. That is absolutely insane. What a battle here from E1, making sure that Black Dragons have to respect them in every sense of the term. And on every front. Even something as simple as using some breaching rounds or a skeleton key to try and get under the bandit tricking happening in IT. It's something that Black Dragons has to be wary of.
Yeah, without that skeleton key too to try to dislodge some of those defenders that might be playing, for example,
ナイトヘイブンラボでマーベリックバンなのも理由とかありますか？マーベリックバンは、あれでしょ？駆け引きしたいでしょ？いや、E1 側が防衛で取りたいんだよ、これ。簡単に壁開かないようにして。外直の壁が結構、ほぼ全マップ、全拠点多いからさ。キッチンぐらい外直の壁にあんまり影響を受けないの。まあそれもそんなことないんだけど、上の連絡通路を抑えられると絶対あそこ割らないといけないんだよ。
Will make this garage take a lot easier. But these Candelas need to land because all Black Dragons have, assuming they commit to the IT garage push, is flooding through garage and flooding through IT, which is funneled into two very
ここのブラックミラーが重
small
すぎるね。
And remember, no skeleton key to pressure Arthur or STK or empties from below. It has to be this doorway, it has to be the utility, and it all needs to land in a 4v5 for Black Dragons.
That's the key here for
ちょっと仕掛けたいね、ブラックドラゴンズの視点で言うと。あー。
DK is going to be the next one to strike. What a find there from Arthur. He'll tag up one. He'll go down and turn, though. Down to the 3 versus 3. STK! It's a triple for him! It's down to one member of
ちょっ
BD.
と今のキルは相当まずいですよ。
Able to go with extra
流れが。
collective.
Three. I mean, I think you and I even both remarked inside of the green room, like, oh, probably going to be a pretty quick day once we get to this game. Yeah, a quick day for Black Dragons if it continues the way it is.
Oh, Laura
No
spotting
way.
STK up
Run!
above has only put him to 1 HP. Could have been a bit more decisive there, get the 5v4, but he's at least softened up STK for later on in the round. Everyone from E1 likes to take their gunfights, likes to get aggressive, and especially after that 3K in round 1. Getting STK so low is something you'll take as a win in and of itself with very little cost expended by Black Dragons. E1 contesting a bit of these middle floor areas. 4 different defenders all around this middle floor on opposite sides of the map that just leaves Arthur.
普通の山本さんこんばんはいらっしゃ
So
い。
E1 have to be careful. Don't push it too far, but Black Dragons are buying into this. They are pressing
まあ
forward.
ソ
They
ロ
are
とか
trying to
パ
clear
ー
out
ティー
this
でやるんじゃな
roam.
かったらデイモスはフラグの方が便利かもしれない。あ、そんなことないな。結構あれだよ、ハードブリッジングチャージも便利は
Could be
便利。
okay, but Empties presses his luck and it doesn't
まあ
go
で
his
も
way.
でもキル寄りだからっていうとこあるけど。
Talk about pressing your
う
luck.
わ
Oh
お
my
すごいこ
god!
れ見て
Flores
電
is
話
a
が3つ
bloodbath inside
点々と落ちてた。
of hell. That default cam
明日の工場も
saw
楽しみに
things
してます。あり
nobody
がとうございます。
should. As E1 are completely decimated. Absolutely insane stuff happening here. Black Dragons
来た。
somehow, some way finding their way back through things, but let's be real, it's mostly all Florio. Some major kills in this moment.
やりきれんかった
Last with a
か。
nice discovery
虎の子のに取らせるが。
on Loira, but the Nitro Cell won't discover him too. Now, no Nitro Cells and honestly no clue as to how to get back into this. They're grasping at straws.
Oh.
You can see that, but Arthur
Okay.
will be able to at least get Loira. Flashery's
いや
worked
で
his
も
way
こ
into a
こ
position.
しか見れないのはきついぜ逆にフラスティフラストリーか。
You certainly don't want to. Arthur's got the exo stairs.
ああまあ
unlocked
そうだね。
with
それだと
that
グリーン
kill.
は確かに
Position's
便
been
利
found
だ
out. Don't overplay your hand.
Oh.
Don't overplay it, Arthur. Don't overcook. He's waiting and he cuts
しっ
you
かり待って
down.
た。
He had the position, he had the play. Flash
Wow!
Marcus found two! They've walked right into him. He's got to stay alive, though. One might come from the back. He's taking the 1v1 up front,
Yeah,
but he's
さすがに挟んだ。
indecisive. Doesn't know where to peek.
今でワンチャンあったな。
For me,
ワンチャンくぼむに潜んで引きつけてたらどうなるか分からなかったな。
Man, I've been to a really great map.
あ、
Like,
音が
it's
回っ
a
て
lot of
て
fun to play,
あれ
a
かな
lot of
っ
fun
て
to
感じ
watch.
だな。
It might not be as traditional as some of the longer standing
両
bastions
方
of
かは
Rainbow
今もう
Six. And I
あれだぞ。
understand that, so please don't burn me at the
プロ
fire too
トップ
quickly.
プロでも
Okay? But
主戦力だ。
I mean, there's a lot of positives about
結
this
構
map.
必須オペレー
It's
ター近
almost
くなっ
like
てくる。
Consulate in a different way to me. And honestly, I'll tell you this right now. I've been a Consulate fanboy for a long time, so probably has something to do with it. But either way, speaking of more things that lend themselves over from Consulate, we got that Solus, but did you see that we've got her good old pal Pulse too?
So much intel for E1 to find, both in the electronics and the players. With the Solus and the Pulse, respectively. Deathmark Tracker goes out. Won't find either of those, but the Valkyrie, also another tool to provide intel to the players on this defense. Spotted behind the pillar, but Para's in a relatively safe position if you think about it. I mean, sure, he's found out. Sure,
いやー
there's
これむ
intel
ずいよ
on
な。
his position, but he can force Black Dragons to clear him. He can waste time. They might get fixated, tunnel visioned on the Valk behind here.
割に来るの待
Time
ってるの割に来ない
elapses.
ね。
Deathmark Tracker now gone, waiting to peek. Gudo looking to get aggressive.
割れ
Impact
てないね。
grenade goes out, but it's a little too early. The exothermic not down yet, so it's not able to be destroyed. STK cut down too. Only one find on that roam clear, but you're not complaining if you're Black Dragons.
Most definitely not. She got something for this 2-minute clear, and they also still have some info, little insight on Perez. At least have some assistance when it comes to that window there with Beeper on the hop in. But Empty's in some hot water right now with this verticality. He's got to try and find a way out of this. He's really skeptical of these garage areas, and why wouldn't he be? Lastry though, he's on the flank. He's seen Ash,
これは
I do
熱い。
believe, inside of IT. There is one over inside
これ
of
は
Garage
熱い。
too, but Empties will cut him down. Loira to trade things out. Lastry, the moment is now, and he gets Loira. They now know
この
that he
リテ
is
イクは熱いぞ。
upstairs, but at a time like this, there's so much
いやー
to
よく止めた。
do. They're losing so many fights. They're bleeding out, head spinning. What is the next answer for Black Dragons?
これで攻撃が
I mean, we have a
ゲロ
player
きつにな
all
って
the
る。
way downstairs. Nux
エ
is
リア
the
が
one
取れ
with
て
the
ない。
case. Where are we going?
上も取れて
They
ない
have
か
to
ら
try
な。
and run up the stairwell, at least for Ask, but they're well aware of this
これ返
scenario.
すん
Now
だ。
it's just down to
やるな。
Nux. There's no place to put this case, Carter. This round is more than likely over.
やりますね、E1。
He's gonna lose at least a couple chunks of his ankles, but he'll keep his life and the E1 round.
All comes down to the retake right there. All floor. If
今の
you
よ
can
く
get
返した
the
な。
vertical down quickly, you could easily
こ
get
の
a plan
フラストリー
as
の
long as you keep control of
リ
the
テイクが
angles.
刺さったな。
And right there, that's a Black Dragons. Because
デイモスって
Flash
ね、刺さってるのがね、把握しづらいのよ。
now doesn't mean
なぜかっていうと、その、味方に位置を情報するのに持ってきてるから、そんなにいいクリップが取れるわけではない。
15 seconds. Deimos taken down, which Black Dragons unsuccessfully, but still are
どっちか
attempting
と
to
いうと
use
自
their
分も
Deathmark
近づいちゃうと
Tracker
位
to
置
find
バレてるから
intel
やられちゃう
on
からさ。
isolated
そん
players
な
of
に
E1.
綺麗にキルに
Right? He's
繋がんないん
gone.
だよ。
Loira, also one of the highest rated players in all of Brazil, gone as well.
でもアイノックス以上に敵をしっかり終えるからリアルタイムで。それで持ってきてるかも。ただここでももうすでにデイモスは退場していると。
And they're still at a 4v5, just as they were with Loira falling early as round 1. Basically, the exact same spot they were in before, and even worse straights. STK trying to get aggressive will cut down the evil eye that was hacked by the Kludge drone. But still holding on to Garage so firmly. Flashby backs off again, exactly like we saw in round 1. And as the defense retreats, where are Black Dragon Sam? Stuck in 19 and stuck in Garage. They're lining up for the 9x19. Flashby's only able to find one, but Arthur can cut off this aggression from all the way top Aqua, and Black Dragon's still very isolated on this take.
Black Dragons. Desperate times
ちょっと囲い込むには人数足りなくなっちゃったぞ。
They come to blows once again with E1, losing a body, hitting one in return onto empties. As we know, he really likes those opening duels. He's the more aggressive one out of this E1 roster that really loves to try and push things to the limit. Black Dragons trying to retool this offense now, trying to reinvent things, send somebody over to that far-reaching area that Carter and I had touched on, an area that we didn't really see them exploit. Blue stairs, though, will be occupied with a shotgun. It's more than likely going to be the
He's got
to let them know as well. There's a barrier on the door. He's in a gunfight right now with STK that he just can't win. And finally, he'll cut him down. Gutto will get one as well. And somehow, some way, this patience play, it's working for Black Dragon.
読みが外れたね。
Finally, as well, as it's been a very hotly contested Nighthaven lab so far, especially on these openers. Loira to flirt with death once again as the Legion right on the other side of that window.
STK hoping somebody runs across, but not finding anybody just yet. IT Breach now opened up. Such consistent Deimos usage for Black Dragons. Floyo with the DMR.
デイモスの AR 反動強くて使えない。まあちょっとむずいよ。まあそんなあなたにショットガンを俺はおすすめするけど。
Yeah, indeed a 4K from Floyo. To get Black Dragon's first victory on the attack up until that point, and already starting things off with a kill onto STK here, just as he did back in round 2. Weird, on the retries of a lot of these bomb sites hitting very similar patterns, creating similar trends. In the case for E1, you don't like how that
でもこの後 E1 がそうだよね、攻撃になるから。
might have a player across the building, and indeed they do. Paris shuts down the man of the hour.
アドバンテージを取っておきたい。いくら防衛が難しい。
But Loira is a bit faulty on the shots. Paris still in the wind.
Does he have it? Oh my goodness. It's a triple for Perez. He's single-handedly doing Black Dragons in. Everybody just keeps giving him these chances. This SMG-11, it's unbiased. It doesn't care who's on the other end. It just cares that they die. And Perez might be able to assist his teammate here. Empties in behind this vending machine too. Look at this. Look at this patience here. He knows these players are right around the door frame. A rotation here from Nux. This might be the moment for him. Another death mark out. They know about the mute. Perez shoots on the other foot now. He's going to make the rotation, though. Has he actually gotten out? I think he has. Yes, he'll skate on by. Nitro Cell for good measure. Oh, man. Making me sweat on the fallback, too. Almost finds him to the verticality with that pistol as he's down to 1 HP.
壁抜かれたよね。今床抜かれたよ。
Black Dragons in the disadvantage, even more so with
HP がなさすぎる。時間もない。
Surely E1.
いや、これ組み立てできてないぞ。
They have control of the cargo stairs. They've got the feet holes, they've got the head holes, they've got the deep.
組み立てできてないこれ。どっから行こうか悩んでる。
Perez might be down.
よく一人持ってったな。
But Nux is out, and Gudo's not long either.
And you know, try on and saw that exact game complicate. It was a little bit of a double bound. I don't know how you feel about this personally, but I kind of like STK on the visual.
I mean, I think it's worked out so far. Black
まあそうね、ファビアンとペングすごいよな。そんななんかさ、ちょっと関わっただけでやっぱそこまで違うんだね。すげえよな。やっぱ世界一になった人は世界一になった理由がちゃんとあるんだね。鬼軍曹再び。 マジであれ思い出すわ。スラムダンクの安西コーチを思い出すよね。仏の安西って今呼ばれてるけど、昔は鬼の安西だったね。あの話。
Clearing out this map on the attacking side has
been
a remarkably consistent issue. Despite operators like Deimos on the board, Moira again the opening pick. Flash 3 going 1-for-1. Florio was able to at least make it a 1-for-1, but still in the disadvantage. Black Dragons is still getting aggressive or E1.
You just have to feel for him, man. It's like fighting Mike Tyson. It's like, yeah, you got your jab in, but he's uppercut you. It's like, what is happening? Constantly, E1 are always the ones coming out at the top of the table. Black Dragons once again left worse for wear.
So,
it's IT, it's Garage, and Black Dragons are trying to work their way in from the south to the north. Nitro Cell here.
いやー、攻めが組み立てられなくなってきたね、だんだん。
This story's been building itself for some time.
It has, and keep in mind, it was a 3v4 they had to win on the previous top floor attack that we saw. One admittedly that they won, and one admittedly Empties. Maybe looking to give away from them. Empties peeks the IT breach, and as the flashbang goes in, Black Dragons have at least neutralized the advantage.
いやー、ただ組み立てられてない。取れてるのは倉庫2階とこの IT だけ。エリア広げないと。挟めるように広げないと。
Nobody on connector, no time to rotate either. Black Dragons repeating their round 1 mistake, seemingly a round destined for failure. A 4-2 half for E1. Unless they go big. Unless E1 take gunfights, they shouldn't. Gudo drops down to IT.
いやー、攻めるのがきつい。
One inside a garage. Nobody from E1
いや、もうあらゆる車線にさらされる。入れねえよ、これ。特にここ入った時の電子キースのこの真横の車線が強すぎる。いやー、絶望。ヤンキーとネコさん、ポンチャス。たのが一番乗りだね。まあ、ただ防衛だったからな。ここからE1攻撃だから。
Dragons defense. They have necessarily done the bare minimum. This map, it's still a little bit of a teeter-totter. There's still a lot of teams getting it figured out. We've seen times where it's insanely lenient towards the offense.
そんなん言い出したらフリアの次の相手フェイズだぞ。どっちもどっちだろう。まだ W7M の方がワンチャンチームが完成してないにかけて戦った方が勝率可能性高いんじゃないか。フェイズの方がきついだろう、どう考えても。
Rather overstate that enough, as BD has looked to be the third best team in Brazil throughout this entire stage.
ブラジルは常にラスボスを決める戦いが続いてるから。
As a whole squad, pretty recently as well. Right now, this is a pressure test. They have to try and come out on the other end alive.
They have to try. Perez down very early on, so a good start. C4 will obliterate the downed Deimos. An operator where if you're playing him, your odds of surviving are not particularly high. Oh, the
いやー、今のいい詰めだな。あー、まずい。これが典型的な 1v1 で仕掛けちゃったってやつね。行くんだったら、ちゃんと文字待って2人で仕掛けないとダメだった。またポイント外でめちゃくちゃ勝負が発生してる。あ、これでも作ったな。
Could have a reset from E1. They've still got a boogie drone. They've still opened up the hatch. And both these players still have one drone remaining to hunt down Florio.
Look at this. This is the exact thing we did not see from Black Dragons. Although that round did go their way, they ended up losing 2 crazy bodies through that breach, if you remember. All because they did not end up re-droning the downstairs. E1, gonna make sure that they dot their I's, they cross their T's. At least have some semblance of where Florio could be, at least where he's not. Make their life a little bit easier. Have an active drone for dead friends to watch as well. I'm breaching charge down. 20 seconds remain here. And honestly, there was a round that Florio could clutch up. It'd be right now. There's so much to do. It's resting on a knife's edge. They have got to get in this site. And Florio knows what they're going to try and work in from. Are they ready for the swing? They can't take him down.
国境は素晴らしかったんだけど、2マップ目以降はそうでもなかったんだよな。それが気になった。
But the mistakes are happening at making
2-5か気がつけば圧巻だね E1。
We don't want to count them out in this matchup either. We can certainly
韓国乗りそうなタイミングで UBI 撤退なのかなし、まあそれはなんか CG とは関係ない部分でもあるからな。まあ関係がゼロとは言わないけど、全く関係ないとは言わないけど、まあ CG だけじゃないからね UBI さんの撤退って。他のソフトも含めての総合的な話でしょ。
At least on the clear, they've spotted the Azami Raptors, typical position to play, and Black Dragons bringing out the Clash to try to stump E1's attack, as they often like to flood and often like to get aggressive. There's even some players on the roam Loira having an exceptionally poor performance, unfortunately, today across some of these maps. Could flank later on the Vigil and maybe go for a little bit of backside pressure once E1 goes.
まあ独特な文化圏なんて言い出したらどこもかしこもそうじゃない。英語によってグローバル化が進んでなんとか標準化してるけど、言うてどの国ももう大概やね。
It's gonna start now. Loira sees the window and they have to hear this Logi bomb. Oh, got some shots now. Just nobody's died. Nobody's been tagged. Nothing's happened. We've only seen each other. That's about it. We're halfway through.
いやでもチームコンセプトがない中でも勝てるっていうのはないと思うからな。
This is just going to be more about positioning here.
CG はメンバー変わってもチームコンセプトが全然見えてこないんだよな。またペレス。
Well, it'll be Perez that strikes first as he's just walking inside of IT. I think this could get a whole hell of a lot
worse
at a moment's notice. Loira's going to go down to STK. Florio's ready for something happening in the garage. The first M590 shot misses, but he follows through on Perez. And it's a 3 versus 3.
A 3 versus 3, but 10 of the 2v3 if you only count the guns. Nux has the shield up right now. There's not a lot of tools for E1 to deal with that clash. But if they're able to take down Florio and Gudo around it, a round win is certainly possible. Match point, a very, or not even likely possibility. But still one nonetheless. Only 30 seconds left.
ああそう、ツイッチの撤退も良かったよね。俺ツイッチで撤退するんだって結構衝撃を受けたあれは。
We see Flashby going to the backside as well. He's able to cut down Gudo.
まずいぞ。
One shotgun left.
ああよく勝負した。
He peeks out. 2 pumps.
ただクラッシュなんで
killed. Clash found out.
次の車線で1枚倒さないと。
No, the warden is around garage trying to find that position, but with the diffuser in so low time, Arthur might need to try to get this case down. The Clash can pressure, the warden can follow up for the kill. Nitro goes out and it lands on the cover, but Arthur's still up. Florio can't capitalize. Arthur can fall off and get the kill, but not on the follow-up. Knox with the quick swap.
海賊版多すぎてネタゲ大国になったっていうのはかなり少数派じゃない。どういうこと？
Black Dragons able to nigh match point for at least another round.
ツイッチの撤退あれ理由聞いたけどよくわからなかった。いやあれでしょ、なんか回線の利用料がめちゃくちゃ高いんでしょ。多分ツイッチやるにしてもその各国にサーバーかなんか用意しないといけなかったんだけど、それが多分コストが割に合わなさすぎたんじゃない？配信の量に対してそんな感じだと思うけどな。
This is a main priority as it holds a pretty long cross. We saw it on full display earlier in the game.
Can easily cut off a rotation or two, maybe 5, depending on.
今日のスカーズの仕上がり見て昨日 CAG 勝ったとしても今日スカーズ相手に厳しかったからまあそれは何とも言えないけどね。乗ったら今のキノトロープみたいに強いみたいなのもあるかもしれないからさ。ただどっかで限界が来るんだよ。再現性のないコンセプトのない戦い方って。その個人のパフォーマンスっていうか個人のコンディションにめちゃくちゃ引っ張られる戦い方だからさ、昔から CAG って。いい勝負感。ペレスの勝負感えぐいな。だって今、まあ、ドローンで確認したと思うんだけど、上の車線もさ、倉庫だっけ、収納室か、収納庫の車線とか全部無視して突っ込んだから。本当だ、ペレス落としたやつ。
Nux gets one M590 in hand to try and assist with this barrel's position. A lot of different entry points being utilized by E1 right now. You can see them like a hornet's nest starting to work their way in, starting to try and find their topics. But Black Dragons, they've got some raid. They're going to spray down empties. Arthur won't be able to find too much.
めちゃくちゃ削り合いが起こってる。
BD once again back in the wagon, back in the saddle, with the reins in their hands.
It's all individual plays from E1 right now, all trying to find their own timings, push their own angles.
ああ、先にピークしちゃった。
Eating them alive in round 9. Flashtree might find the player close to the
もうこの位
left.
置強いからこの位置なんとかしないといけないん
Position
だよ
lets Flashtree worse for wear after the spray from the empty
さす
side.
が
Spots the head, but can he
or something, but they're gonna go initial
force the timeout? 7. Some equal shots. The
part. Demo.
big question is how
韓国で海賊版だらけでパッケージ版作ってもまともに売れないから韓国のメーカーはネトゲパッカ作るんだ。あ、そうなんだ。そういう背景なんだ。
Look, I mean, Ram has a
それ地獄だね。
shotgun now. I mean, can you just you use the
But does it
DMR?
also open the freezer, rotate to the stairwell?
でもネット
Ah, that's
ネ
a
ト
good
ゲも
point. I hadn't considered that
そ
actually.
の
I kinda
オンライン
forgot
ゲー
it
ム
was-
じゃない限りは
I
コ
kinda
ピーされ
thought it
続
fall
ける
down
し
and
続け
continue.
る。
I was like, what if it's stuck on the roof? But no, you are correct actually. We'll go down, open up the freezer, rotate. I was being overly pessimistic.
E1 は今のメンバーで世界大会経験者いないと思うよ。
No, of course not, but that's okay. Then clear the position later on. They at least have that option later
まあ
on
でも
in the
準
round.
備できてるから
First up,
な
Paul goes
E1
out.
とかはしっ
Empties
か
to
り。
find the first pick.
まあで
Loira.
も
So
なんか無名のいい選手
brutal
取ってるの
on
は
his
事実だと
opening
思う。
death so far. I think 1 and 4 throughout this game. 1 and 5 actually. Empties just
まあ
finding
別
a
に
second.
グループステージからオフライ
The opportunity
ンだからっていうだけではないと思う
down
よ。
below, but you'll fall further back
だっ
into
て
sight.
オープン大会200チーム参加してたでし
I
ょ。
was gonna say count your lucky
そういう
stars.
なんていうか
Looked like they were
層
about
の
to
厚
get
さもあ
another
る
pick
し。
onto Gudo there, but clearly not. These guns, they shoot back for BD, and
ま
they're
あで
gonna
も
take Perez.
オフラインでできてるのは
That's a
でかい
beautiful
よ。
one to find too. Perez
これを見て
has been
僕もこの
on their side
ステージに立ちたいって思う
entire series thus far.
10代中盤ぐらいの子がいっぱいいて CG を選択するって可能性は十分にあるからな。
line at 10 rounds in, but still
いい循環にはなっ
does
てる。
make his matter or make things matter most.
ブラジル頻繁にオフラインというか、まあレギュラーシーズンがオフラインだ。
Lastry?
修羅の
Does
国
he
よ
know that
ブラ
Nux
ジ
is
ル
in
は。
the area? And this is just a solid patience play, but does require Flastry to stick here too. Not trying to oversell this. This is just down to pure timing, down to pure game sense here from Flastry.
ブラストで対面やなくて横並びにしてるのは絶対
outside insight,
ブラジル
potentially
は飛ばしとく
audio
な
or
んだ。
something from
そんな
that
ことない
top
ぞ。
four, but
NA を横並びになってても
This is siege, folks.
激しい煽り合い
This is
か
how
ましまくって
things
る
work。out sometimes. We're gonna have Nux just patiently waiting.
まあそうね
No, it's just
FPS が
Hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. How
根
the
付いて
kids?
るのもあるけど、で
Oh,
も
they're
それで言ったら
fantastic.
韓国
Oh,
と
that's
かもそう
great.
だから。でも韓国は
Anybody
実
wanna
際の
move
ところ
yet?
ね、
No? No? Okay, cool.
バル
Awesome.
とかも強い
And
か
here
ら
it
な。
is. Rainbow Six Siege on full display, ladies and gentlemen.
The execute coming
いや
out
今の
now.
我慢比べえぐいな。
Of very low HP, taking a lot of damage. Empties with the diffuser, moved his way into the site. Couple defenders, worse for wear. He could wrap around, try to deny this, but Flashtree on the vertical angle's too strong. Seemingly a clean execute for E1.
まあ SSG とダークゼロはあれはまあプロレスよプロレス。
Series point now for E1 in what will be
落ち着いてるね E1 全体的に
In。that situation. Vertical position.
やっぱりなんていうかこうロックというか
They were
焦らずに待つチームが今圧倒的に強いな。
the clash. It still came down to basically a 1v1 that somehow Black Dragons almost lost anyway. Well, he just bandit tricks that.
Yep.
あ、焼かれちゃった。
Rookie
I
mistake.
was waiting to see what was gonna happen next.
It's a bit silly right there. I mean, you just placed it in the middle of the wall. There was nothing down below to deal with it. Now empties, I will say, down below at the cargo window. Skeleton King that position. They can pop the Mira. C4 on the way out. Find nothing,
早くない
unfortunately.
それ
So,
Wait,
めちゃくちゃ早く投げた。
did he forget?
あ、ブラックミラー開
I
けたの
think
か
he
よ。
forgot to pop the mirror window.
I think so as well, unfortunately.
I swear to everything that is holy, if we go back in this VOD and we find that BD lose this round, all because of that moment right there with that Nitro South
CSG はドタが弱いアジア圏がこぞってバロやロール。ああ、まあ確かにそれはそうだ。ロールなんてマジでアジア圏圧倒的にあれだもんな。中国が強いからな。ドタは確かにあんま聞かないね。俺ドタの方が好きなんだけど。フリアフェイズはこの後ですよ。この後深夜すぐです。僕はリアルタイムで見れませんが。おっ！でも刺さってた。
Easy fodder for E1 on this entry game. 10 rounds, 7 open engagements, 6 losses for Loira. It does not get more damning than that. Gudo's able to cut down Arthur. Empty's pushing forward. Pushed so far up on that rotate. Base checking, peeking, waiting for the engagement. Spots him behind the bomb chassis. Ask
バックダウンラインにいる人のシルエット隠れてない？
C4 goes out, but Empties falls back. Florio's got a retake just around the corner. The shotgun, the perfect tool for this
まずい
engagement.
ぞ。
The perfect thing to stop E1 from regaining the momentum, gaining the lead.
いやー、
Grenade
ダブル
goes
ピー
out.
ク。
Warden out
最後は
the
1
door.
バレて
Black
た。
Dragons into the LCQ. E1 2-0 upset and stun in the Brazil playoffs. They've got a date with W7M tomorrow.
ペレス
And
裸
the
足。
E1 bench elated after that
あっさり
victory.
決まったね
A。7-4
フラストリーって結構あれなんだね。エントリーなんだね。サポートかと思ってた。さあ、これでトーナメント表はこうなりました。フリアとビボはフリアが 2-0。まあ、1個オーバータイムに行ったからいい試合だったけれども、結局フリアがオレゴンのオーバータイムの攻撃通したのが全てを決めた感じするね。そしてブラックドラゴンと E1。ここは力の差あったね。領事館とナイトヘブンラボともに E1 が快勝という感じで。これでフェイズとフリア、ダブルセブンと E1スポーツという形で、ここはもうこの4チームのうち3チームがメジャーフェーズ2からだからさ、もう本当に3位までに入ればいいが4分の3だから限りなく可能性はこの4チーム高まってるけど、逆に1個落ちるのはきついよな。ね、俺も BD 優勢だと思ってたこのマッチアップは。ここはやっぱフリアかな。でも2-1かなと思ってたんだけど。E1 チャンスあるぞ。ただ相手が W7M だからな。やっぱ選手のネームバリューで言うと圧倒的に W7M かなって感じするから、まあちょっとどうなるかだね。ただなんか今の勝ち方見ると E1 温まってる説は俺は唱える。ここはまあフェーズ有利かな。やっぱりちょっと立ち回りとか相手の潰し方は明らかにダントツにうまかったけどフリア。やっぱなんか要所要所の打ち負けがだいぶあるね。だから立ち回りを今少し覗き込みの遅い環境に合わせてるんだなっていうのはなんとなく思ったけどね。まあでも JP とフェリポックスのとこでキル取ってくれるから相変わらず強えやって感じがするけどね。さあどうなりますとかというところでございます。よかったらまたこの配信に遊びに来てください。アーカイブの方はね、順次 YouTube の方に上げてますので、途中から見れずに見逃したなって方、まあこのTwitchでも見れるんですけどね、よかったら YouTube の方も登録してみてください。というわけで皆さんありがとうございました。また次回の配信でお会いしましょう。おやすみなさい。